You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
The wasteland is the post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wandering out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, frozen atomic waves. From deep within the core, frozen atomic waves.
Hello, and welcome to the 135th edition of the Fallout Feed. I am Andrew, joined this evening by a few of my favorite Fallout faces. Hi, Jess.
Hey, Andrew.
What's going on, Pat?
Andrew, how are you?
Hi, Ray.
Evening, Andrew.
And everybody join me, please, in welcoming a first-timer on the show. Been submitting feedback for a couple of shows now. Everybody's been enjoying it, so we decided to pull them on. Everybody, please give a nice Fallout Feed welcome to Dwight. Hi, Dwight.
Hey, Dwight.
Hello. Hey, guys.
Hi, Dwight. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We've been enjoying your feedback. A particular sort of Nick Valentine feel, maybe, to a little bit we've been enjoying. So nice, familiar sort of noir feel. Really been enjoying your feedback. So welcome to the show, sir. And this week on the show, guys, what are we doing? We got feedback from the 3 quests we did. Well, Quest, Motherload, and then 2 events. The distinguished guests, and what was the other one? I forget what the other one was.
Patrol duty.
Patrol duty. Oh God, I
You've
never
already
want to go to
blacked it out.
the. I did. I blocked it out. I was traumatized by the stupid prison. So yeah, let's get into who we're gonna hear from tonight. Sean, also Jerry, Freighter, Dwight sent in some feedback. Sergio, Beardy Sai, and Will, of course. So we'll strap it in for a good set of feedback tonight. Let's see, guys. So there was an update today, and that was really fun. I got to run a little bit. We have a new quest. It's not a quest, an event. It's really weird. I've only done it once. I have no idea what's going on. Pat, did you get a chance to run over there yet?
I did. I just before we went live, I finished the Graham event. I have to be used to being social again. Everybody's being all social and like talking to each other and stuff. It's so not me. So yeah. Sergio was over there. Alex was over there. A bunch of folks. Ooh, sheep squatch. So we did that, and I did 3 primal cuts, which is the preliminary event, and then you have Graham's. What was it called? What's his actual meat event?
Graham's Meat Cook.
Graham's Meat Cook. Yeah. So that's apparently at a. It looks like that may be at a fixed spawn spot in the forest.
Yep.
And the primal cuts, whatever. It shows up in various places. 3 different difficulty levels. 3 different areas at the same time every 15 minutes.
Yeah, there are 6 possible spawns. It'll show up at 3 of them every 15 minutes or so.
Okay, so like 3 scattered across.
I
guess one of each area.
Each of the different
right.
groups.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have no idea what you guys just said, what any of that meant.
So, all right. So one step at a time. So primal cuts, the event where you actually get the meat that you give to Graham in the second event.
So within the Graham event, the umbrella of Graham's event, there are many events within that event?
No, Meat Week. Meat Week is the umbrella. And within Meat Week, there are 2 events.
Oh, I didn't know we had another event.
There's Primal Cuts, which happens every 15 minutes at 3 of 6 locations.
Yep.
To mix up the difficulty across the map.
All right, I was confused. I thought you were talking about the meat cook thing.
Nope.
Oh,
and then the meat cook happens on the hour at a fixed location in the forest. And it's a little like Vashnak, except that it's completely not at all like Vashnak. You have to run around and do things. That's the way in which it's like Vashnak. In almost every other respect, it's different because there's no hostile critters, and it's I guess it's like a fixed spawn. I guess that's like Vashnak as well. But that spawns on the hour. Although Andrew, I saw you failing it at like 3 minutes before the hour, before it started for me. I don't, I'm not sure I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on with you failing it before it even started. That's some like time travel shit. I don't know.
Well, that's weird because I was there talking to Graham, and then it started, and then nothing happened, and then like 8 minutes later it started again, and then he started like it. You could tell it actually started, and everyone on the server got a notice because
Yeah.
all of a sudden, fucking everyone swarmed.
Yeah,
So I was like,
exactly.
wait a second, why did it do that fake start like 7 minutes prior?
Yeah.
And then we never. I don't know exactly how the event is supposed to go yet. We're all still figuring it out, but we definitely failed the event.
But it didn't
I
fail.
think Eric showed up.
The real event did not fail.
Oh, interesting.
Because I saw it fail for you, and I was like, well, shit, it's not even supposed to start yet. So I went back over there, and Alex and Sergio and a bunch of people were there, and it completed like it's supposed to.
And it's funny because I mean you're in game,
or anything.
Andrew was right down to the wire himself because right at when the show was about to start at 10, they're all like, "Where did Andrew go? He just left." So you were playing right up to show start.
9:50. I saw the clock and I was like, "Fuck you, Jerry! I gotta go."
But so everybody here has played it, but me. Ray's played it. Andrew, you've played it. Dwight, did you got in today? You said with Will and Jen, right?
Yes, we played the prime cuts for a little bit, right up until 20 minutes before 10, but I never made it to Graham.
Right.
But Andrew, you haven't done prime cut. You've done Graham, but not prime cuts.
Yeah, tell me about prime cuts, Dwight. How is that structured? What is that like?
You have to. So far, you have to show up. You make some noise, and then the prime critters start showing up, and you got to fight them off or just kill them.
Oh, okay.
And it's different waves. It goes in waves, but it's timed, and the time limit is pretty tight. We failed at one time because we just didn't kill everything fast enough.
So each of these two events deal with prime critters, which are sort of like legendary, except for they drop prime weapons, which are ultra based weapons. No.
No.
All right, what's happening then?
They're just called prime. They're like legendary in the sense that like anything can be prime, and they have a special name. But they're in other ways not at all like legendary because they don't drop anything other than just the meat stuff that they would normally drop.
I thought they dropped ultrasight something or other.
No. That would be the other definition of prime, having absolutely nothing to do with this definition of prime. Simple, huh?
It's a more marbled cut of Grafton Monster.
The only difference between a prime mongrel and a regular mongrel is the prime mongrel fights for the Autobots. They're exactly the same.
The prime meat didn't even come off of the prime animals. It was a reward for finishing the event.
That was confusing me a lot at first because I was like, okay, is it completely bugged or is but then it's actually it's an event reward, not a drop from the critters, which doesn't very non-intuitive.
Yeah. But you can get between 3 and 5.
I got a little irritated the first time I did it because all I got was the meat. I'm like, what the heck?
Oh,
there's supposed to be other stuff you're supposed to get too. What's up with that?
So
so when the event happened, does it show up on the map for you guys?
It does.
Yes.
Okay. So for me, there was no marker at all. I just saw a whole bunch of people congregated in an area near the Moonshiner Shack where, as far as I knew, there was nothing there. And then all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? I got to go check that out. And, there it is.
Yeah.
Back over to the Grand Meat Cook event. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that regard, it's a little bit like Fasnacht, that people, almost the whole server just swarms the event.
And there's supposed to be a server-wide notification, but kind of like with Fasnacht, sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't, I think, is what I'm hearing.
I'm getting it for primal cuts every time, but I'm not getting it. I haven't gotten it for Graham at all because I was on at 9 o'clock, not realizing that was when Graham was starting, and I was on at 10, and neither time did I get a Graham meat cook event.
So just to keep the two events separate and not to confuse Andrew any further, let's finish Primal Cuts first. So once you're there, you're fighting the monsters, and they come in 4 waves like a workshop defense. Some of them regular, some of them prime. The last one will be the toughest that shows up. And after you kill all 4 waves, that's when you get your rewards, including 3 to 5 pieces of prime meat.
And it can be you can get a legendary in the later waves, but it's not guaranteed.
And it seems to be based on level a little bit. I've seen the videos that I watched and hearing my husband talk about it. It's been between like level 40 and level 100.
Yeah, I in the mire and the bog, I got 100 or 100 plus every time. But then I did the ash sheep, and actually the ash sheep threw up a level 80 sheep squatch, which that's pretty tough.
Yeah,
because those things are very, very bullet spongy, as everybody knows. So.
Mm-hmm. But that's pretty much all there is for Primal Cuts. If you're in the easier area, you might get lower rewards. Higher area, you get higher rewards. And then after that is when you can go to the Graham's Meat Cook, which means that you can stock up on meat. Even if you miss Graham's Meat Cook, you can be stocking up on meat for a while. And since they slowed down spoilage, it should last. Or if you have good with salt, it should last for hopefully a couple hours.
yeah, definitely stuff that I picked up at 3 o'clock was, just on its last pixels when I did the event at about 7.
So that's not bad. Did you have good with salt mounted, or was that just
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did good with salt.
Level which? You remember, Ray? What level of good with salt?
Probably only 1.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I usually only keep 1 in that, and the green thumb and all that other stuff.
Yeah. So and then the rewards for Graham's Meat Cook are that is a way in which it is like Fashnacht. It's various little apparels and weapons. Is it any plans? Any camp plans?
Flags, right? Flags can be
Yeah,
possible.
I think there's the flag plan and also the plan to make the throwing knives, the meat cleavers.
Ah, okay.
That's pretty cool.
So once you get to Graham's Meat Cook, then, and you turn in the meat, can you guys talk about what happened to you on those events? I know some people failed, some people didn't even have it pop, like Andrew. But did anybody succeed, and how did that go?
Yeah, I had to succeed. And there was the whole server converged. There was probably almost 20 people there, and we were all. I was completely aimlessly running around until I realized that there's these little stations that you go to, and the little stations. There's one where you drop some critter bits, and there's one where you play some music, and there's a I figured it out too late to try each one, but there's maybe 4 or 5 different little stations you can do, and if you collectively you do enough of those, then you advance the event to where you succeeded as opposed to failing it.
Yeah, and you get the little progress bar at the top that kind of shows you where how you're progressing or if you're starting to lose ground.
So the progress bar, I saw a picture. It has like a little owlet wing or a chicken wing. I don't know which it is. A ham steak, and then looks like prime rib at the end, or Deathclaw steak. So do you know if that determines like where you are on that progress bar, is how good your rewards are?
That would be awfully logical. I don't know if this game is capable of that level of logic.
Yeah, I don't know. I only did it once, and I had gotten to the bar all the way to the top. So
Oh, perfect.
I don't know, but I mean, me and the 40 other people that were there too. But
From what I know about it, I mean, it's hard to hear when there's everybody there talking, but Graham supposedly yells to you instructions about things you need to do. And there's a bunch of obvious ones, like manning cooking stations and playing music on the drums, right?
Yeah. I did the rotisserie and picked up Charlie Poo.
And then I know there's poo, there's brush fires that can start. You can actually, if you get greens while you're running around, you can grab greens and put them in Charlie's cooler. And also, one thing I was told is that Graham sells a recipe for making Charlie feed. Did you guys see that at all?
Yep, I bought it.
Yeah, me
Nice.
too.
I bet you can treat that kind of like your cores, Pat, and like make it ahead of time so that when you show up, you've already got lots of Charlie feed ready to go.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, actually, I haven't even read the plan yet. I got a crash, so I'm not actually in the game right this moment. But yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I crashed a lot today.
Oh,
was
that's what I
frustrating.
heard. I heard everybody did.
It's back.
I mean, I
And
started
Yeah.
when I first launched into the game after the servers came up. My screen went blank, it went black, where you just have the little Vault-Tec, emblem at the bottom that pulses, showing you that it's loading.
Mhm.
And I could hear stuff going on in the background, but I couldn't see anything, so it was locked up. And then getting out of power armor one time, it locked up on me, and then I had a couple of server drops. And that was all in about cumulative 4 hours of playing.
Wow. Yeah, we heard about people getting in their power armor, having it explode, a bunch of new errors, a bunch of lockups today. I feel bad. After the hot fix, like we hadn't really been fixed yet. After a couple hot fixes, I thought maybe today would be hot fix 3 and just Charlie, just meat week. But they seem to have added a bit more and caused a few more problems.
We were having chat problems with our group, and we had a glitch that I've never seen before. Jen actually fell through the stairs of the train station.
At a train station?
Yeah, the one
Ouch.
by Top of the World. She fell. The stairs didn't form fully, and she fell through and went underneath. She had to jump back out, I guess, or she got stuck. But I've never
Wow.
seen that one before.
I'm starting to feel like holes are popping up all over, like one of those movies or whatever. Because we're seeing more people finding ways into the upside down, and I'm seeing more people posting pics where they're breaking through to the other side. This is getting dangerous.
For all you Philip Pullman fans out there, someone's running around with a subtle knife and being irresponsible, aren't they?
Oh, yes, they are.
I thought you were going to go. I thought when Jess said break on through the other side, I thought you were going to go doors on us there.
Yeah.
My wife is a adamant Doors hater. It's hilarious. I love playing Doors in front of her. She's just like Doors. It's really funny. Yeah. All right. Pat, I believe that you prepared a little game for us this week. I think we could go ahead and launch into that. We have a version of Scream with Your Phone. I decided I kind of wanted to play, so I asked someone in the group if they would make a list. Pat decided to put one together. What do you have for us here, Pat?
All right, so this one is going to be interesting because it's going to be a big mix of easy and hard because what I did was I found Andrew, we were going on offline before we started about which game we wanted to pick because I said, I'm in the mood to go away from 76 because just to do something different and you pointed out that you've only played really 4 significantly, so anything besides that would be a little tough for you. And I wanted you to have a good time with this. But what I found was just a mishmash list of all the addictive chems from all the games in one list. So this will be a little bit for everybody. Now, I don't think there's any way in Dima's Blue Hell that we're going to get all these because some of them are so obscure. But I think it'll be fun to see what we get. So this is a list of the addictive chems from all the games, including alcohol. All right. So and we'll definitely be loose on this one because I'm sure there are some that have different slight tweak names or whatever. Again, some of these will be easy. Some of them will be a little bit trickier. So this is the addictive chemicals, including alcohol, from any Fallout game. All right.
Wow.
So yeah, this will be interesting. Again, so there's no way we're going to get them all because some of these are incredibly obscure. But go all the way, dredge up those Fallout 1 memories, and we're going to start with Andrew. Just the order will be Andrew, then Jess, then Ray, and then Dwight will be fourth, and then we'll just rotate around until we have a Scream at Your Phone winner. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, Andrew, take us away.
I'll say buff out to start, Pat.
Buff out. Let me just, I know it's on here. I just got to find it and tick it off. All right, Jess.
Med-X.
Med-X. Of course that's on there. Ray.
Jet.
Jet. Of course. Dwight.
Psycho.
Got it. Back to Andrew.
Mentats.
Mentats. Oh, where are you, Mentats? There you are. Okay. Jess.
Vodka.
Oh, going down the alcohol route. Vodka. Tick. Ray.
Calmex.
Calmex. Love it. All right, Dwight, what you got?
Buff Jet.
Buff Jet. All right, starting to get into the mixed up chems here. Uh-oh, wait a minute. We all know that's a real one. Oh, this list may be worse than I thought. Because, okay, I wonder if this... No, this has got stuff that was only from 4 on here. It just must not be very good. It's got some. It's definitely got some of those. So we let me add Buff Jet manually because we all know that is a good one. All right, and back to Andrew.
Can you get addicted to Day Tripper, Pat?
You certainly can. Jess.
That sounds like a fun one.
Only during the day. Let's go with Buff Tats.
Buff Tats. You know, this list is incomplete, but we know that's a good one. So I will count it, of course, and add it to the list. Back to Ray.
All right. I'm digging up New Vegas.
Yeah.
What is it? It's
There's
it's
a couple on here.
tobacco.
Oh,
coyote tobacco.
You rock! Oh, that was. Oh, you
Weird.
were the best. I thought that was one we were surely not to get. Well played, Ray. Coyote Tobacco Chew. This list is from the wiki that we use a lot, but it was not a main page, so maybe it wasn't very well edited. But well played with the Coyote Tobacco Chew. Dwight, what you got?
Daddy-O.
Daddy-O. Big tick. Andrew,
Nice.
hit me up.
Let's go with Psycho Jet.
Psycho Jet. You know, all the maybe okay, those are
Combo,
obviously
maybe no more combos. Is that
Yeah.
is that the thing that none of the combo ones are? Okay, so
Yeah,
let's not.
no, it's okay. I
let's
mean,
not
you guys
go
are
with
obviously those are right. There's we know
yeah,
those are
but
right.
that's but whatever. If they're not on the list, we all know that none of those will be on the list. So I'll go back down the alcohol aisle.
Yep.
Then we'll go with whiskey.
Whiskey. Oh, reliable. All right, Jess, what you got?
Can you get addicted to? Oh, let's just go bourbon. It's on the tip of my tongue, so we'll jump back to alcohol.
Again, that's a good one. I know you can. I think it's just not on this list, but bourbon is good. Yep. Ray.
All right. So those fire ants.
Yeah, come on. I like what you're smoking there. Bring it on. Very,
it's
very
not
close.
blood.
You're so close.
Nectar.
Oh, you got it. You rock. Well played. All right, Dwight, what you got?
Reach back to 4 a little bit. Dirty Wastelander.
Dirty Wastelander. Oh yeah, that is again. Sorry for the list being bad. I'll have to do some better quality control. That's definitely on there because I actually saw it on a different list before I settled on this one. So, Dirty Wastelander is good.
I vaguely remember that. What was that one, Dwight?
I can't remember all the properties it had. I really didn't brew a lot of alcohol when I was playing for some reason, but
I don't remember. Did that one reduce rads? No, probably not with a name like Dirty. I forget what it did.
the one that
All right.
removed addictions.
Yeah. All right, Andrew, it's back around to you.
Let's just go with beer.
You got it. Jess.
I think this was a Fallout New Vegas one. Ultra Jet.
Yep, you got it. Ray.
Hmm. Damn, what was that stuff called? It was the stuff that restored your limbs in New Vegas.
Yep. I'm looking right. I thought that was the one you were going for when you went down the New Vegas route.
Hydra.
Yep. I was going to give you a hint, but you got it without it. Well played. All right, Dwight, what you got?
How about rum?
Rum. Yes. And back around to Andrew.
Let's go with wine, Pat. Wine.
Yes, sir. Wine. You got it. I thought about doing this without the alcohol. Maybe I should have done without alcohol. This maybe taking longer than we want, but you guys are doing very, very well. Jess, what you got?
Yeah, I'm thinking, Pat, I'm thinking the idea behind that is it's only one addiction, it's alcohol addiction, whatever type it is, as opposed to like jet addiction, Medex addiction, you know what I mean, with different effects?
No, it's got a list of alcohol. It's just like some of them, like bourbon wasn't listed, but beer was listed. Just
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's just not a very well curated list. So
You know,
it's a Wikipedia. I should just go fix it myself.
I wish I had my chem list from 2 weeks ago in front of me that we did, but let's go Tick Blood Tequila.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, that's right. They don't have 76 is not well integrated. That's actually one of the reasons why I avoided 76 because I think, as we all know, some of the lists for 76 are not as fully fleshed out as they ought to be.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ray, you got another one?
I do. I just sold some today. Excel.
Excel, yes, sir. Dwight, you guys are doing great.
Fury.
Fury, yes, sir. I saw it on here. It was kind of slightly not alphabetized. Okay, there it is. All right, and we are back around to Andrew.
Now, since we're not doing like the combination of like Psycho Jet and stuff like that, what about like orange or berry Mentat?
They are on this list, yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll take orange Mentat, and someone else can
All
have the other.
All right, that's the one you said first. That's what I marked. Jess, what you got?
Dibs on berry.
There you go. And then my favorite Mentats is still up for grabs. Ray?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Barry.
No, Jess said berry.
Oh, did she? Damn it. Great Mentats.
Great Mentats. You got it. That's my favorite. Dwight, what you got?
How about Overdrive?
Overdrive. Yes, sir.
He's good at this.
Yeah.
All kinds of useless information stored in my head.
Andrew, back around to you, sir.
Okay, I'm at the end of my list I have here. This is my last one, and it's a complete guess, and it's only because it takes place in the American Southwest. But tequila for New Vegas? Was there a tequila?
I don't think. Again, this list, apologies, it's a little untrustworthy, but I don't remember tequila. Ray or Jess, Dwight?
Yeah, I think there was.
I mean,
was there?
There should have been.
There should have been, but I sure don't remember it.
See, yeah, I have zero clue. That was a complete guess, and that's just based on its location. Seriously, all
right, so it was. Not, I don't remember it. It's not on the list, so we will throw Andrew out for what is actually a really good guess, and maybe between sessions we'll confirm that. All right, so Andrew, you're out. Jess,
there's some kind of other alcohol, like Everclear in Vegas. Is it moonshine?
Moonshine is. Oh, and Andrew, I had to put you back in because I just found tequila. It wasn't listed under T.
Wasteland Tequila.
Wasteland Tequila. You got it. So you were back in the game. I misjudged your acumen, so my bad.
Right, I'll be out next round anyway, so it's okay.
Ray, what you got?
Oh, has anybody said rum?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
damn it.
I believe Dwight did. Yeah.
There's a couple of pretty easy ones, and there's some really tricky ones.
I'm running low on I don't really do anything with the alcohols.
Yeah, you guys did very well in the chems, although there's a surprising number left.
Think about who's the group in New Vegas over in the canyon, over in Red Rocks?
The cons.
Yes, the
Great
Great
Cons.
Cons. They definitely had some dissolve
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, and you guys haven't picked up Arthur's favorite New Vegas chem yet either. So you guys, there's a couple more.
Ooh,
Thank
steady.
you for the hint.
Steady's a good one. Arthur did like him some Steady. All right, so Ray, you got that one. All right, Dwight, what you got?
I don't remember any of the stuff from New Vegas. But how about Mountain Honey?
Mountain Honey. Oh yeah, that's wait, is that addictive though? No, it is. It's
It's a
moonshine.
form
It
of
is.
moonshine, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. You got it. Andrew, back around to you.
All right, Pat. This might not be acceptable, but I can't remember anything chem wise. I'm not as good at the older games as everyone else. So I'm going to stick with 76 here, more modern stuff. Actually, I don't know if these might appear in other games too. I have no idea. And this might be also unacceptable because it is another subsection of beer, but something like Blackwater Brew.
Oh, okay. Now I'm not going to give you a strike there, but let's say it's not on this list.
But
There's
no,
a lot of those.
Subsection of beers. No.
There's a lot of those beers in New Vegas or in 76. So let's say we won't go down that list because we might be here all night.
All right. Yeah. I had like two more of those.
So
those
Blackwater is a good one.
list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another guess?
Oh, another guess. Shit. Fuck. I don't know. Them Captain's Blend.
That's not. Despite the fact that it tastes like fish, it is not addictive.
Fuck you up, Pat. The fish fucks you up. No,
All right,
I
Andrew.
have no.
We're going to toss you out on
okay.
that one, Andrew. A good pull for sure, but not addictive. All right, Jess, you got another one?
Yeah, sure do. Party Time Mentats.
Oh, you rock.
There it is.
Well played.
Where's that? That's awesome.
That's 4, right?
That's New Vegas.
Party Time Mentas. That sounds great.
I'm pretty positive.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right. I don't remember taking those because I took it all with Arthur. All right, Ray, what you got?
I'm trying to think back to the Arthur episodes and trying to remember what he takes.
You guys, there's 2, I think. Yeah, looks like there's 2 that Arthur was pretty fond of that you guys haven't called out yet.
What did he take? Turbo?
Oh, good one.
Turbo is in there.
I
Yeah,
remember Turbo now. Yeah, good poll, man.
absolutely. Dwight, hey, you got another one?
Is Nuka Dark addictive?
It's not on this list, although I think it is because it's rum based.
Oh.
So I'm going to give you credit for that one because I'm pretty sure it's addictive. All right, Andrew, we're gonna skip you because we're not gonna go down the beer route. So, Jess, what you got?
I thought of some combos we haven't done. If combos are still good.
Tell you what, the combos aren't on the list, so let's maybe just in the interest of time, let's say no combos.
Okay.
Because I think you guys called some out, but they weren't on the list. So let's skip the combos.
The only other cool one I can think of is Rebound.
Yes.
Did Dwight already say that though?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Awesome.
Nope. Ray.
That's some deep shit, man.
Yeah, that was a deep cut. Very deep cut.
Damn.
Shit, I'm gonna pull up a list. I want to see. You said there's still a lot missing to that?
Yeah, there's 6 or 7 chems and probably a dozen alcohols.
I just got a chem. Don't take it, anybody.
Oh damn.
Oh Jesus! Look at this list. Yeah, there's tons you guys haven't named.
Yeah.
Wow.
You guys are doing very well, but all right, Ray, got one or should we call it?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, so Ray's out. All right, so Dwight,
Because I don't think Night Stalker Squeezings it was addictive.
That's a good one, though.
I love that one.
Squeezins. Got one,
How
Dwight?
about Nuka Shine?
Nuka Shine, yes, sir.
Oh wow, yeah, totally obvious one. Good job.
All right, Jess, it's gonna be down to you and Dwight. You guys are you may be here all night. You guys are rocking this.
Oh no. But I'm going with Excel.
Already said.
Oh, poop muffins.
Already said. Yeah, that was one of the earlier polls. All right, so Dwight, if you can name one more, you would be on your very first appearance, champion of Scream at Your Phone. Can you name an addictive chem or alcohol? It's not named.
Red Ant Lager?
Or
are we staying away from
I'm gonna give you one more chance.
Beer.
We're not gonna do beer. We're not gonna do beer because there's so many of those.
I think that's all I got.
Oh, I just thought of another one. Damn it.
Uh-uh.
All right.
Can he phone a friend? Can he phone his friend Ray?
Well, since it is Dwight's first time on the show, Ray, what you got?
The Bubrov brothers.
Yep. And do you remember the exact name?
Oh.
All right. Anybody remember the exact name? That is
Bob
on the
Rob's best.
Bob Rob's best.
Yes.
Bob Rob's best moonshine. Yep, exactly. All right.
Oh,
So,
man.
well played. You guys did extremely well. This is a very long list. All right. There is on the chem list. There is Afterburner gum, whatever the hell that is.
What the heck is that?
Nope.
There is ant nectar. So some of these could be from one or two. This list goes way back.
So
There's
as opposed to
ant nectar.
Fire ant nectar. There's
As
just
opposed to
plain
fire ant nectar. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is Arthur's favorite because it's the cheapest, scuzziest chem in the game. Dixon's Jet from Freeside. Only like 5 caps. It has half the effect and half the cost of regular jet. Because Arthur used to pound Dixon's Jet, regular jet, and ultra jet, and really rack up the AP because they would stack.
Oh, that's
Looks
like
like
discount bathtub gin.
When was
Yeah.
jet? Nice jet fuel.
Jet fuel
So-
was for 4.
We got Med-X. We got all the Mentats.
Yeah. Okay.
There-
Rocket,
Wait,
Slasher, and Smooch. You guys did not get.
Smooch.
holy fuck!
Smooch it, bitch.
According to this list, in the original Fallout and Fallout 2, Nuka-Cola was addictive, and Cherry Classic Fusion.
Yeah,
and Nuka-Cola
I pulled that off the list manually because I knew we weren't going to go down that path.
And
There's one-
Radaway also. Radaway
Yeah.
was addictive in a couple of
Yeah.
the games.
I pulled that off too. So Voodoo is the only other one from the chem list, and I won't read all the booze because it's a very long list. But here's one.
Absinthe.
I love this one.
Nice.
Old Flaky.
Oh, Flaky, yeah. That's cool. Jake Juice. What the fuck is Jake Juice? That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So anyway,
Absinthe, that's fun.
absinthe makes the heart grow fonder. All right, so well played, Dwight. Nice to pull away the victory on your very first appearance of Scream at Your Phone.
Thanks, Ray.
Yay.
Nicely done.
Well played, Andrew. Glad you got to play this time. It was,
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. What does the word have to do with radiation? I would pronounce it Roentgen, Roentgen. How's that pronounced?
Röntgen, I think.
Roentgen.
Yeah. You wait. I thought you spoke German.
That's not. If it's a German, it'd be Roentgen. But that's. I mean, if you put the umlaut and take
Actually,
away,
it may be Scandinavian. Now I think about it.
I don't know. I mean, it could very well be a German name, and it just might be a proper name of something.
Oh, it's definitely a proper name. It's the guy who
Yeah.
discovered X-rays.
Yeah, so
That's what I was-
All right.
Google pronunciation says Röntgen. Röntgen. Mhm.
Roentgen. Okay. As long as it's not Yanny or Laurel.
What?
You guys remember? Never mind. That's a deep internet poll. So Roentgen rum was a one. That's fun. That's cool. No, that's a good list. That was a good list, Pat. Good poll.
And Röntgen rays is just another name for X-rays. So, by the
Yeah.
way,
Sweet. Cool. Good to know. I saw that word a ton during the Chernobyl miniseries. That word was all over the damn place.
I was going to say that. I heard that a lot on that. That was good. Scary, but
Yeah.
good.
Oh my god, terrifying, wasn't it, Dwight? I love that show. I think Ray, you said you watched it recently too. It's
Yeah.
oh my god, best. Fucking chilling. I want to watch it again soon. Yeah. All right, Pat, that was great. We need to go ahead and kick into some feedback, you guys. Already well deep into the show, so let's get rolling into. So we'll go just in the how about order of receive this week? I think we do that most weeks anyway. So, hey, Sean, you jumped on. We've been loving hearing you. You actually just jumped into the Xbox group this week, and that's fun. And Jess mentioned the exploding power armor. I believe that was Sean who had that done. And I remember that when my son Moses also had the exploding power armor thing, and I went back into my Xbox stream and I found that little video and posted. It's really funny. Hops into his power armor and shows him loading into it. Then all of a sudden, just like all the power armor explodes into like hundreds of little tiny pieces all around. It's really funny. But that that's pretty funny, Sean. So thanks for hopping in and being a good participant. Let's go ahead and take a listen to his feedback.
Hey guys, I wanted to first off thank you very much for allowing me to participate, and I just wanted to let you know how much I love the podcast, and the community is top notch. Been loving it so far, and I've been maybe a month or so. So let me start off. My name is Sean Huff. I play on the Xbox, and my gamer tag is I need a 12-step. The character, which I randomly generated through your handy dandy random character generator, which is awesome. His name's Douglas Canby, aka Lamb. Let me go ahead and start off. I know it's got to be short, so I'll be quick. Lamb was born inside Vault 76. His birth was no mistake, as he was an unknowing participant of the experiment labeled Nation Reclamation, Baby Boom Sans Womb. Most folks within the vault were in search of amusement, and the scientists were no exception. Lamb was crafted from hand-picked DNA and had been one of the first to be created from this new technology. Unfortunately, you have to break a few eggs to make an omelet, and Lamb reaped the rewards and felt the consequences. Lamb's stats are as follows: Strength 15, Master Shotgunner perk. Perception is 6, Crack Shot perk. Endurance is 1, Natural Resistance perk, which is kind of funny. Charisma is 10, Team Medic perk. Intelligence 6, Hacker perk. Agility 8, Gunrunner perk. And Luck of 10, Critical Savvy. Lamb was the nickname given by his creators due to his frail health and a tongue-in-cheek jab at his incredible strength. As a result of Lamb's poor health, he's become a germaphobe and vegetarian. Meat tends to aggravate his system, and plus it's gross and germy. He's clean-shaven from head to toe due to the strange allergy that he has to his own hair. Lamb is set off into Appalachia to find a place to live that's inhospitable to germs and illnesses, and maybe where he can grow a nice big garden to support his required lifestyle. Sounds like the life. Once outside the thick, unnatural walls of Vault 76, Lamb soon found a Mr. Handy with some useful information about the Overseer's whereabouts. The trail was littered with destroyed robots of some sort, obviously destroyed during the war. He learned a hard lesson after trying to play a mouth harp, located in a crude, 2-story structure just southeast. He soon found it very hard to breathe, due to an allergic reaction to the saliva of a previous music lover. His throat closed up tight and caused Lamb to go unconscious. Lying there for what must have been 24 hours, he awoke to find himself in only underwear and phallic symbols drawn all over his exposed body. Never again would Lamb go near a musical instrument. Tired, dehydrated, and hungry, Lamb made his way south to a campground that the Overseer had set up and had fortunately left some rations for tired, half-naked fools like himself. He soon learned some rudimentary skills working with leather to make armor. The disgust on his face as he imagined what germ-infested animal the skin had come off of. Oh, the gag reflex. It was unbearable. He fashioned a crude pistol from some piping and other materials lying about. If he was going to survive and be comfortable, he needed to find a hazmat suit, and quick. Well, his intuition pointed him north, so off Lamb went. Just hopefully no more near-death experiences. Besides, after the war, how could anything dangerous still be around? Well, that's my initial. I was a little quicker than I thought I was going to be, but that's my initial take. I'll add some more specific details in regards to some of the quests and stuff as we go along. So, again, I appreciate you guys allowing me to participate, and keep doing what you're doing. You guys are awesome. Thanks.
All right. Very well done, sir. Very nice, Sean.
Indeed. Good thing you didn't put that banjo in his lap.
Mean running with a moonshine jug later on. Good job, Sean. Really enjoyed that feedback. Please keep them coming all season long. Excited to hear about the quest. That's a good character establishment feedback. Very nicely done. He said he got the natural disaster, or what is it? The one that you have like natural resistances against like diseases from the environment.
Was
that
that
like-
what is that natural resistance? Is that what it is?
Yeah, stepping on like. See, if you have the one that like prevents you from like getting like when you eat, and then the one from like drinking, and the one from like whatever monsters or whatever, like what in the environment is actually giving you diseases and stuff? Beds, like bed rolls on the ground,
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
Mutant bacteria.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess monsters smack you, right? Or is there a separate card for that?
Yeah, there's vaccinated, which is
Okay,
reduces
there is a separate
monsters.
one.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
One thing
Gosh,
neat
so,
about
like, bed rolls and stuff. Weird.
One thing neat about Sean's feedback too is he had rolled a character, if I remember correctly, rolled a character, started it, and then went back, started playing with the character creator, and rolled a bunch more and got in trouble because he found two he liked better. And then he actually asked us in group to kind of vote on which one we liked. I remember, I don't remember the other name, but we liked Lamb. We liked Lamb a lot. So it seems like he went with him. It sounds like he's really into him.
Did he say he messed up because he played the character too far or something and had to start over? Is that what he was saying?
Somebody did that. I don't remember if that was Sean though.
Yeah. All right. Well, Sean, that's great. Glad you hopped on the project, man. Welcome aboard. Next up on the feedback we have. Oh God, really?
Jerry.
Jerry.
Oh, damn it.
He wasn't even on the list tonight.
Damn it, Jerry. That really earns a damn it.
Followed the overseer, and no sign of her, but listened to her audio recordings. She left at Morgantown High School and the Voltaic University. Decided I needed some supplies and heard rumors about a treasure chest in Hornwright Industries headquarters. It turns out there was a treasure chest in the way of a mining machine that did give me some awesome ore I can hopefully craft or sell to a vendor. Then on my way up through Broston Greens, I found some terrifying artwork done by some Trojan, but decided to stick around, kill some Scorched, and then met these lovely robots that seemed a little confused. But he decided to help them out anyway, setting tables and the like. For some visitors I fear will never show up. But however, I did get a laser gun planning for my reward, so it was well worth it. And speaking of guns, I figured I need some more weapons, so I figured I'll visit the old prison where the guards usually have pistols on them. Didn't find any pistols, but did find another robot seemingly confused who I did help clear out some ghouls, and he did give me a stim pack recipe for my trouble. So I've seen. Wait a minute. Okay, well, I guess someone needs help over at Grafton, so I guess if anyone finds these, that's where I'm headed next. So checking out. Thanks.
All right, Jerry. I like how he's doing his feedback with the reporter down at the building there next to the Hornwright, going over the fold. He had the character remembered having stuff over there at the Hornwright for the mother load. That's nice how he wrote that into the feedback. And he said he got the laser pistol plans or laser gun plans for as his reward, and like that made it worth it. I remember him being impressed by that. What are the laser gun plans, like what? Why is that such a good thing? Like, do laser pistols sell for a high resale value or something when you make them, or what's up with that?
In his case, I think it's because he's playing a pistol build, and so it was just a good get because he'd already gotten other pistol plans.
And
Are-
that was I think is that one that's not available for sale. There's a couple that you can't buy. You can only find. I don't remember if laser is one of them.
I'm not sure. I know Ron's the last character that had it, and he found his too, so it might be.
Yeah, I don't remember, but there's a couple like that are rare because you have to find them.
Nice. All right, Jerry. I like your feedback, sir. We have Freighter next up on the list. So we'll hop into Freighter here, and then we'll get into Dwight and Dwight's history with his relationship on Fallout. So, hi, Freighter.
Hello all, Freighter here. I don't have much to report this time because, well, boy, it's been a glitchy week, hasn't it? Couple weeks, that is.
Hold your tongue.
Anyway, so the only one that I actually managed to pull off this time was Motherload. Distinguished gas would not work. Definitely didn't get anywhere near to doing patrol duty. So yeah, Motherload. Let's talk about Motherload. So this one was a bit frustrating too because I got kicked a bunch of times, but at least it saved my progress. Unlike the other ones. So Thorn, he's a sneaky guy, and boy did it help being sneaky. Every other character I've done has been more of a tank. So being sneaky was actually pretty awesome. So he had stand fast for his chest plate, lots of muffled armor with a chameleon left leg. So yeah, Thorn's pretty darn sneaky. And with a little advice from Ray, I really maximized on that. So I really didn't have to do a lot of work to do this. Basically just went in and let's see, there's a reception terminal. As soon as you go in the door, down the stairs, ignoring all the enemies in the room. None of them could see me. Went straight to the computer and reading all the messages. Archived message from September 29th, 77. Gave Thorn all the information he needed to go up 4 floors and look for Penny's office. And from there, well, that's where the glitchy started. So I'm not entirely sure I got all this right, but between getting booted and logging back in, made it to the 4th floor, went to Penny's office terminal, and from there figured that the best way to move forward with this would be to get hired. Yeah, so messed around with some terminals, ended up taking a test, and Thorn's usually not that good with tests, but this time he aced it because he was just honest. And it turns out his mom was right. Honesty does count. So he blamed the incident on agitators, blackmailed some people, dug up some dirt on politicians. That's not really hard, really, but I mean, that's what he did. Offered some lucrative jobs. Man, did all sorts of crafty things, but in the end, got the job. That's certainly a first for Thorn. And equally surprising, his new ID card was dispensed from what looked like his grandmother's answering machine in the next room over. And after that, Thorn went back into sneaky mode. All the way back downstairs, got in an elevator, which is right near where that first terminal was. So yeah, once Thorn was upstairs, he took a left, went into a very messy, awful place, and dug around, messed with some more terminals, played with a keypad, eventually got a very sleepy sounding robot to tell him to go downstairs. So he went into office on the other end of that floor and found that a previously locked area had been unlocked and was able to go into an elevator all the way downstairs, where he met the Motherload, the previously sleepy robot that he had spoken to earlier, And anyway, he gave it a beacon. Yeah, I think it was a beacon. Whatever. You walk up to a thing and you push the green button. And then you get a bunch of rewards from a dispenser in the corner. Really felt anticlimactic this time. Done this with a few other characters and it seemed way harder before. And it seemed far more satisfying getting to the end as well, getting the rewards. I think I got a combat rifle plan. Not sure about that. But anyway, a bunch of other crap that I didn't need. And yeah, overall, I found it way easier to be sneaky than my previous playthroughs. Also, I'm finally finding that Thorn isn't offending people with his presence anymore. Now that he's higher level, people seem more tolerant. I don't get punched in the face nearly as often when I play as Thorn. Pretty sure Thorn is my least popular character I've ever made. Yeah, but anyway, I guess that's about it for this time. Thanks for listening and tolerating my long breathing voice. And I will see you all in the wasteland.
It's like if Winnie the Pooh's good buddy Eeyore submitted feedback, isn't it?
Oh, bother.
I love you, Frater. All right. He brought up getting the combat rifle. That's obviously planted in there because I think we said every one of us had gotten that. I'm just sort of now coming to the realization that having plans to build weapons like that is really advantageous on multiple fronts. If I wanted to be a combat rifle specialist, it's great to have that combat rifle plans. And I'm just sort of now realizing that this is a good thing to do. Can't you make a bunch of rifles and then scrap them to learn
Yes,
the stuff?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
that is
See,
the prime tactic.
I never put two and two together to come up with that. So I was always finding them and then scrapping them to do that. And I was like, one day just kind of realized, oh, fuck, I could just learn all these if I just made the weapons and scrap them immediately. Oh, God.
Yeah,
So dumb.
it's not a great use of resources on some of them, but when you don't have any mods, it's worth it. On armor, it's not worth it, but on weapons, it
Yeah.
almost always is.
Yeah, and for one thing I discovered, I finally got the Deathclaw Gauntlet plan, and you need 2 Deathclaw hands to make that. But when you scrap it, you get 2 Deathclaw hands. So with Super Duper, you can actually create Deathclaw hands out of nothing.
Wow.
Just by scrapping and Super Dupering and continuing and rinse and recycling and repeating. Now, unfortunately, I did like 20 of those and didn't learn the extra claw mod. So my guess is it's not going to be learnable, or it's so very, very unlikely that it's not worth trying.
Yeah, and that's so trivial to buy. So
Yeah, it's common, and it's like, it's 25 even at full vendor price. Agreed. Yeah.
And some guns you just don't find a lot of on enemies. So like my pistol character uses the Western revolver, and you never see that on a Scorched or a Ghoul or anything else, super mutants. So I had to get the plans to be able to make a bunch of them to get any mods for it.
Lever action is the same. You don't find those too often, and it takes a lot of them of scrapping those to learn the mods for them. Took forever to get the suppressor.
Yeah.
And the other main branch of why knowing the plans is really super useful. Not only when scrapping them do you learn the mods or whatever, the improvements. That also counts for your possum badge stuff when you need, or your atoms, like
your challenges.
Your challenges, you need to scrap 76 blah 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 energy weapons, pistols, scrap this and that and the other. Don't waste the time going out and find them. Just fucking make them and scrap them immediately. I mean, like Jess said, it's not the best use of resources, but you get atoms and stuff and a tiny bit.
Well, and it's usually.
But if you're going for that badge, Yeah,
so you can,
don't wait.
make half and then scrap them and you get the thing.
Yep, and if you have scrapper mounted, and if you have higher level friends, they can do them for you. Like I remember when I first got Western Revolver on a lower level character, Pat made a couple, threw on a basic mod, and we scrapped them, and I got some good mods off that. So if you don't have much, it's great, but once you have half of it, it might not be as good of a use.
Yeah, I'm not a big gun person. I found a what I said was just a revolver. I said, "Hey Jerry, I found some sort of legendary revolver. Do you want this legendary revolver?" And he's like, "I don't know, what is it?" And then like I post a picture of it, and Jess was like, "Oh my god, that's a Western something or other. I don't even know, but that's a lot better, Jerry. You should hang on to that." What the Western revolver is a lot better than what is the other one? Just a 44?
Just a 44. Yeah.
Yep, and then there's the single shot. Like there are a couple different things that use the 44, and I think Western Revolver is the best of them.
Yeah, it
Both
is.
on
It's got the
level.
highest. It has the highest power.
But also, Freighter has some feedback on your feedback on his feedback, Andrew. He says, "Love you too, Andrew." Which, if I'm to
Oh,
interpret,
that's sweet.
means it's okay. You can punch my face if you want to.
Oh bother. Lost my tail again. All right. Dwight, welcome to the show again, sir. Thank you so much for hopping on. Congratulations on your maximum main victory on our awesome game, our very impressive Super League, involved game show we put together.
And it's very strictly judged too. Yeah, very, yeah.
With sticklers, if you couldn't tell. Dwight, gosh, there's a couple of different background things I'd like to get into with you. First and foremost, your Fallout background, of course. What's your history with gaming and how you got into the Fallout series and what Fallout games you've played. But first, are you co-workers with the Podfather?
I didn't know that when I first met Michael. He just works on the other side of base, and he comes over once in a while. He happened to be wearing a Fallout Feed shirt, and I said, "That is an awesome shirt. Where can I get one of those?" He said, that's just from a podcast I used to kind of contribute to." And oh, all right. Well, what's the podcast? So he told me about it, and that's when that tuned me into the podcast. And I see him every once in a while. He's always been a very nice guy, but we don't really get to talk too much. But I didn't know he started the damn podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
He's all super humble about it.
Yeah, a good 6 years ago or so, he just started a little show about Skyrim and sucked us all in somehow.
Yeah,
But
I
that's
was
very cool.
really jazzed about it.
And he never mentioned it, of course, right?
No.
And I think I mentioned it to Will and Jen, and they mentioned it to you or something. Like it got back channeled too. You're like, oh, weird.
Yeah, Will
Huh?
told me. I was
What?
like, "Are you kidding me?" That's crazy.
So, yeah, Michael started this mini podcasting empire that just has dozens and dozens of listeners. So pretty impressive empire over here. But it's great to have you, Dwight. So that's just really funny. I thought that was a really funny background connection. So what was your sort of first gaming system and stuff, and how'd you get into Fallout?
Well, the first Fallout I picked up was Fallout 2. That was actually the first computer game I ever played. I was stationed in England at the time, and I didn't have that was the first computer I had really that I could game on. So I picked that up, played that for a long time, really liked it, and then that made me go back and pick up Fallout 1, and I got about halfway through that, fell off of that, but then Fallout 3 came out years ago. What's that?
Sorry to cut you off. Ray, retort.
What?
I know he's not a fan.
No, never mind. Go ahead. Sorry, Dwight.
Hey,
that's all right.
I played twice as much Fallout 2 as I did Fallout 1.
like 7 minutes?
No, 3.
I enjoyed it, but then Fallout 3, I saw a relative playing it, and I was like, oh, check this out. This is cool. Just the whole immersive world that it created, was just so cool. And I asked my wife to pick me up a used copy, and she's just awesome enough. She went out and got me the special edition of it with the lunchbox, and I fell into Fallout 3, and I've just been first day, purchaser of the game ever since. It's been my main.
That's really interesting. I'm that's amazing that you played Fallout 2 first. I don't think I've ever met anyone who did as early as Fallout 2 was their first one. So I don't know. Marcus, I think Marcus had played all of them from the beginning, if I remember right. But I want to hear your perspective. Because back then, every generation, when Fallout 4 came out, all the people were like, oh, fuck this game. This game sucks. New Vegas is way fucking better. Oh my God. Fallout 4 is the worst game ever. I hate you. I hate you, Bethesda. You're the worst thing ever. Fallout 4 sucks. Fallout New Vegas forever, forever, forever. Let's hand the license over to Obsidian because Bethesda is obviously garbage. Now, if you go back, you see the same articles when New Vegas was released. New Vegas is garbage. Oh my God. Fallout 3 is the best. Oh my God. How can you hand off a license over to Obsidian because that's total trash? And how dare you ruin my game series? And I know because I looked back to see there are articles about purists of Fallout 1 and 2 who do not like Fallout 3 because they changed the perspective and they said they totally ruined the game by doing that, making it into a 3D world. You were around that time. Was the internet around? Was there vitriol to be heard?
Not around 1 or 2. I didn't hear so much. All I ever heard about 3 was the bugs. There were plenty of bugs. It would regularly freeze my whole game system, my PS3 at the time, and I'd have to power it down completely and start it up again, hard start it. But this New Vegas did the same thing, but it still had that immersive world that still sucked you in and kept you playing, and it was just awesome.
Yeah, the first time you saw Doc Mitchell, his head spun around.
That's great. Was 3 hooked up to the internet so they could push out patches and fix stuff, or was it sort of like it released as is?
No, they definitely could, but it was different at that point. 360 already had online capability and the others, but especially on console, they were doing it in chunks. Like they had to go through certification every time they had a patch, so it took a lot longer. On PC, though, I'm sure it was quicker.
I only played 3 and further on PS4, so but they did regularly. It got better eventually, but everybody forgets about that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, everyone looks back at New Vegas like, oh my gosh, this one of the best games ever, but they forget what a dumpster fire it was upon release. I mean, I don't know because I didn't play it upon release, but I've read the articles about how broken it was. It's the same sort of BS we hear about 76 all the time.
Yep, no, preach it.
Louder voices now.
People like what they're comfortable with, and it's just on a faster cycle. People are nostalgic for last year.
That's very nice.
And I think it's the same, like you said, most of the people that are really that hard on it just haven't liked it from the beginning and aren't going to give it a chance.
Are you still on PC? Did you tell me that already? What you played PC back in the day, obviously.
Yeah, but I'm all PS4 now.
Oh, that's right. You're friends with Jen and Will and Sarah and everyone.
I need a controller. I can't do the mouse and the keyboard. My hands cramp up.
Maybe he'll catch it this time. Ray, retort.
Good for you.
Hey, to each their own. No shade being thrown whatsoever, but it's just how I roll.
Ray is on fire tonight, you guys. Very nice. Dwight, do you have a favorite Fallout game?
You know what? 76 right now. And before that it was 4, and before that was probably 3. I like New Vegas a lot, but it just seemed very washed out, and to me the washed out colors and everything, where I liked the greenish blue tinge of 3 quite a bit. But but then when you got to 4, everything was the colors were so vibrant and the graphics were so much better. It was just like, wow, and 76 just continues that thing. I think the graphics are great. I like them,
That's interesting to prefer 3 over New Vegas, and yeah, that is one of the huge big differences. Is they just like introduce so much color into 4. There's such a big difference. But if you load 4 now, it looks bleak compared to the awesome colors of 76. The autumnal colors of 76 are just they pop like crazy.
And even the robots and even the primary colors of the buildings, like 76 is just way more colorful. I was going through screenshots a couple weeks ago, and it's amazing how muted 4 is now.
You couldn't do it in 4 like
play
you
with
can.
mods.
Yeah. Well, come on, Ray.
But in 76, I mean, just the pictures that people were able to make, the awesome shots, and the when you're walking around the mire with the light, the beams of light shining through the trees and everything, and through the mist, is just amazing. It's just really cool.
Those have a name, Dwight. Come on.
What is that?
Ray, you got this one, Ray?
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
You're looking for Todd rays, I believe they are Todd
rays. Todd rays. Sorry. Yeah, I missed the cue.
Oh God, you people leave that poor man alone. I see you ladies. You're all like, "Oh, Todd, he's so dreamy. If I could just have 5 minutes of coffee with Todd, ooh, Todd, he has nice sweaters."
Notice that we say coffee. We're classy like that.
But you gals really have it rough for Todd. It's hilarious. All right. So Dwight, 76 favorite game. That's really interesting. Worst Fallout game. Did you play Tactics and stuff?
I haven't played it. I downloaded it, but I haven't played it. One probably I'm gonna have to go with, just because I made it halfway through and it was just kind of
You never finished
got
it.
bored with it. Never finished it. No.
Yeah, I have it on my computer, and I have the original game guide. I was hoping to hop into it and do an audio let's play of it at some point, but the Fallout 76 dropped, and that plan sort of got put on the back shelf. I've just been all of my game time, even my like podcast mixing time. I'm like, ooh, I gotta rush through this so I can get onto it's just that's all I want to do with my free time is just 76 these days.
Another one for the addictive chemical list. Because we're playing while we're podcasting even. I mean, we're getting pretty bad here, guys.
Yeah, I just fast traveled to the vault so I could get my ass up to Graham because the event just started again. It's hilarious.
Plus, too, you got to put mine in context of I go through like 3 games a year maybe, just because I can only play after family time's over and on weekends and such. So and 76 has filled my whole year because there's just so much to do. So
yeah,
doing no small part to the people I get to hang out with on the PS4. So
that is no small part in the attraction to the game either. That was one of my only main complaints about Fallout 4, and I'm sure if you go back and listen to old podcasts, you can hear me rant and rave about how I just wish that Fallout 4 had play along, and that ESO sucks because it's not Skyrim with friends. I just wanted Skyrim with friends. I wanted Fallout 4 that you could just play with friends, and that's kind of what they landed with here with the 76. I'm like very impressed with the and I know that it sort of came out of Fallout 4, like they were trying to start it like the Fallout 4 with some sort of multiplayer aspect. So
yeah. Now, granted, I don't have a whole lot of online game experience. I played Star Wars Galaxies back in the day and stuff like that, but my love for this game also has a lot to do with the community that I wound up with. I mean, the community through ASA has just been awesome. That was what brought me to the Facebook group, was because, well, I'm going to have to find some 76 buddies. Friends had a PS4. They all got Xboxes. So I knew I wanted to play with people, and that the ASA group has just bar none been awesome down to the person. Everybody's been awesome. It's such a chill, laid back no pressure, no, come on, noob, and nothing of that, none of that. You know what I mean? So that's going a long way to make the game awesome for me. The whole experience.
Yeah, just being able to play with friends it really has opened up. It makes it so much more fun. You said you didn't do a whole lot of online. I think the only online gaming I had any like a huge experience with was I think Red Dead Redemption had an online multiplayer that I played. So, and it was just raids. It wasn't anything like this. It was just like go to this area, kill the bad guys, take the treasure. Go to the next area, kill those bad guys.
I played Destiny some, and they had kind of like I met a couple people in there, played with a couple friends here and there, but theirs wasn't the same. The community's not the same there either, and the cooperation and the communication wasn't there like it is here.
Yeah, this is a pretty special game. I'm enjoying it. Do you have any sort of introduction or anything you'd like to say before we get into your feedback?
No. I was kind of going for a Jack Burton Ash type of character, but Nick Valentine's cool too. If that's where it's named, that's fine.
Nick Valentine is obviously the bastardization of all those sort of noir 40s detective movie stereotypes. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
just really rough around the edges character, but thinks he's he doesn't need anybody, but he finds out he really does, type of thing.
Perfect.
After waking from his nuka-induced nap and now freshly fueled from his snack cakes, Brock Anderson faced a long trek back to camp. He put his head down and hauled ass. Quickly, quietly, no stops. Creatures he saw were way out of his current ability to deal with. Sentry bots, huge packs of ghouls, giant damn scorpions? Fuck no. He made good time until he stumbled into some mirelurks. He wasn't expecting it, and he almost soiled his nice marine wetsuit. They were tricky to take down. Get some distance and shoot them in the face. Soon enough, they were dead, and he had enough meat for one hell of a crab boil. He's going to need a shit ton of butter and Old Bay, though. Brock went through Charleston and looked like a thrash metal album cover. Total waste. He saw something that looked like a rock with arms fighting some of those green bastards. He waited till they softened each other up and put them down like the abominations they were. Brock wondered, surely there can't be any more of those rock things out there, right? Brock ran into Hornwright for refuge. Denied. He was immediately set upon by Scorched. He said, "Let's do this," pulled his gun and went to town. When it was over, the place was thick with gun smoke and scorched bodies. It struck Brock how quickly his military training was coming back to him. His accuracy was getting better all the time. Just like riding a bike, right? He did some poking around and found out about their Motherlode project. An automated drilling machine with the voice of his wife? Nah, that's not creepy at all. This dude was definitely a couple ants short of a picnic. Whatever. Enough of Charleston. Brock Anderson has left the building. He made it to Morgantown to check out the high school for signs of the overseer. Place was a wreck. Just like Alice said, school's out forever. Brock felt himself getting bummed and started looting lockers. Not one had any fancy lads. What the hell kind of teenagers were these? Next was Vault-Tec University. They were running a crazy experiment here when the war happened. A lot of people died here, and not in a nice way. Who the hell was the dean, Dr. Menigilla? Brock wondered, was this bullshit going on in other vaults? He thought Vault-Tec was for preserving America, not treating its people like lab rats. Disillusioned, Brock met up with his buds, Rebecca and Tyr. Rebecca went and got himself a nice suit and looked like a politician. Brock said, "Don't go getting too civilized on me, buddy." Tyr wanted to check out Bolton Greens. Brock was happy just to hang out with his pals. Bolton had been some kind of uppity rich kid school, while the property value was dropped significantly. There were dead people and rotting meat everywhere. Dracula would love it. Apparently, some cannibal raider faction took up residence there, at least until they turned on each other. Brock supposed that when all your friends look like cheeseburgers to you, friendship only goes so far. The resident Mr. Handy wanted help setting up for a party? Whatever. He said he'd pay, so old Brock will play your silly little game. After much running around and killing, it was done. The loot wasn't worth it, but one of the ghouls had a pack of fancy lads on him. Thank God they're vacuum sealed. Next, the crew went to a prison to help a robot do a patrol. With Rebecca's Gatling gun, Tyr's explosive shotgun, and Brock's shotgun spitting lead in unison, they chewed through those ghouls like a combine in a wheat field. Now, old Brock Anderson likes to consider himself a good guy, but that felt good. Good, bad, they're the guys with the guns. So clear a path, motherfucker. The Vault 76 misfits are coming through.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Dwight, for your submission. Very nice stuff.
The robots was for you, Jess. Just saying.
I heard that and I appreciate it. Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, that's how how it would have been pronounced back in the day, like that with that, like, mid-Atlantic accent, the robots or whatever. It's very nice. I like how you do that. Oh, I'd like the Old Bay reference.
Love Old Bay.
Yeah, I love that shit too. I just actually heard something about Old Bay the other day, and it's totally obvious, and I don't know why I never would have thought about this, but it was like developed just to put on the crabs, just to sell more beer, which is basically serves the same function as selling, salted peanuts at the baseball game. It's like something cheap that you can buy in bulk, and you want to make it extra salty so people will buy more beverages, and you can sell more of the expensive beer. So that's really funny. Yeah, I love Old Bay. Old Bay is really good stuff. Hey, that is like the perfect. I don't know if we should get into it right now. God, I kind of want to. That is a perfect lead-in into regional foods. Fucking
Yeah.
Old Bay. Do you guys know what Old Bay is?
The spice. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. I didn't when I was growing up in Indiana. I'd never heard of Old Bay, but I had a job on the eastern shore of Maryland in high school in Chestertown, Maryland, at Camp Fairley Manor. And that was like my first exposure to like actual real, like, hey, we just pulled this crab out of the bottom of the ocean like 7-8 minutes ago. It's still live. You could eat it raw if you want. That sort of fresh seafood. You know what I mean? Like Indiana, not exactly known for its seafood. So
Yeah.
that was my first introduction to Old Bay, and it is a very particular spice. Combination of spice. Most similar thing, I don't know, Creole seasoning, something along those lines.
We have an awesome potato chip company around here called Hers that puts it right on potato chips.
Yeah, Hers is great. Love that. Where I don't know if you want to reveal your exact location, but whereabouts?
South Jersey, right outside of Philly, 20 minutes from Philly, not far from Pat.
Yes, it's good stuff.
Do they have a bag? Do they have a bag of Old Bay chips? Does her do that?
Yes. Yeah. It's Hers Old Bay chips.
I feel like I've seen it, but I've never had it. Sounds good.
Hell yeah, they're yummy. I went to high school out near Philadelphia, so I know the Hers chips and the Scrapple and that sort of stuff. Pat, I know you're vegetarian, but you are from the area. Is there like a vegetarian Scrapple or something? Have they like is there
not to my knowledge.
Vegan Morning Star Scrapple? That would be the best. Oh,
yeah, there's some things that you just don't need to recreate.
Yeah.
Ray, I know you travel and you're a food guy from profession. What you, of course, know what Old Bay was. Is that something you encountered in your work?
Yeah, and I knew of it, but we didn't really use Old Bay on our crabs in the Bay Area, and so it wasn't really until I traveled to the East Coast that I saw much of it. I dealt quite a bit with Phillips Crab Company, and so they use a ton of it.
What kind of crabs are you getting in the Bay areas? Are those like king crab, like Alaskan? Thing?
Dungeness.
Dungeness. I don't know what I know. I don't know if I know what that looks like. Are those the ones with the small front claws?
No, they're really big. Yeah, they look similar to a blue crab, only they're redder and a lot bigger. Probably 4 or 5 times bigger than the average blue crab.
Do you ever just like get a big bushel of them and sit down with a hammer and go to town digging through with nutcrackers and hammers and a bib and dig in? Was that a thing in the Bay Area?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's like big crab bakes they always did in Maryland when I lived there. Really, really awesome event. That's something we didn't really do, in Indiana. You have your barbecue or whatever, but it's a really special kind of event to do, like the crab bake. I guess the closest thing in Indiana we do like whole hog bakes, where you in Maryland, like to do it for real, you dig a pit on the beach. You know what I mean? And you smoke them, you bury them and smoke them. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people like to boil them or whatever, but if you do the bury them and like smoke them with the fire, that's really the way to do it. And in Indiana, the closest thing we have to that is we do that with a whole hog. We'll bury a pig with and smoke. You build a fire with a little tunnel to it, and you smoke the pig underground. You guys done that?
I have not done that, but I've had roast pig plenty of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
Not
probably
like
the
that.
most
That sounds
common.
awesome.
In
The
Miami,
most
they do it above ground.
Yeah, on a spit or something. Have you ever done that with the like the apple in the mouth sort of thing?
Yes.
I don't think I've actually ever seen that. But
Yes.
that's I've only seen that on like TV shows and stuff.
One more
But
thing Obey is really good on is corn on the cob. Slather
Yes,
it with
it
butter and
is.
then put Obey on it. It's awesome.
I like it on popcorn too.
Yes.
Up
Yeah.
in Maine, we just use them on like your lobster boils and your seafood boils, and if you're doing a clam bake, you put it in with the butter. So good.
It's good. You put on lobster too. I didn't know if that would be like lessening like the je ne sais quoi of lobster. Like the turn your nose up aspect of lobster.
Well,
You know
you're
what
not
I mean?
going to have much in the water, but you have it in the butter, so you use as
But
much.
in Maine, lobster doesn't matter. It's all over the fucking place. It's not in Indiana. It's a huge fucking deal to have lobster, and it's like $30 a pound because they have to fly it in, or it's so stupid. But in Maine, like we used to go there on vacation as a kid. It's it is no big thing to have a bowl of lobster bisque for lunch. That is not a special big deal. You know what I mean? In Indiana, that's like an event.
I know. Soup of the day, clam chowder, lobster bisque most of the time.
Yeah. And lobster rolls, that's something that I was introduced to. Those are fucking great. Indiana regional meat, being meat week, Jen requested us to speak about regional meats from wherever we are. And I've mentioned it time and time again on the show. Besides the buried hog bake, the hog roast that I just mentioned, in Indiana, our big thing is the giant breaded tenderloin. I know a couple of other states claim that they have this same sort of thing too, but I guess we'll call it the Great Lakes region. And that's another thing that Indiana is like. We get lumped in with the Midwest a lot. Indiana is called a Midwestern state. But we always have kind of felt like, we get together with Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan, and Ohio, and like, Western Pennsylvania. It's like let's form our own thing here. Let's be the Great Lakes states, because we have very little to do with Nebraska and Oklahoma, the Great Plains states. The Midwest. I don't know. So we're always like on the very eastern edge, but we get called the Midwestern all the time. So there's a bunch of states in the Midwest that claim this, but it's the giant tenderloin fried. It's just a fried pork loin that is hammered paper thin and breaded and fried golden deep brown, served on a bun. It's hammered so thin it's larger than your plate, and they serve it with a bun that's the size of a normal hamburger bun, so it's comically small. It looks like a really like big head with a little tiny tippy hat on his head, so it's really funny. And then you just load it with like pickles and mayo or mustard, whichever you prefer. And that's our regional meat in India. And it's a very German thing. It's obviously a derived from schnitzel. If you've ever been to Europe and had a good schnitzel, it's hammered paper thin meat. In Europe they do lots of poultry. I had lots of turkey and chicken schnitzel, but here in Indiana, it's mainly pork loin that we use. So the breaded Indiana giant tenderloin is my regional meat. Ray, you probably have a couple. You could do one from California. You did the rib tip sandwich, I think, once or something.
Tri-tip.
Or maybe the tri-tip.
Yeah.
That's always a good one. My brother has mentioned that one to me before. Is there a Georgia regional meat?
Well, in the South, whenever you hear the word barbecue, it only means a smoked pork butt. Everything else is either smoked meat or grilled meat. And so if somebody says barbecue, they're talking about pulled pork, because they don't allow anything else to be called barbecue.
Does it be called like smoked chicken? They actually specify
or grilled chicken.
or grilled chicken.
And it's against the law to smoke a brisket. Beef's against the law, unless it's a steak and you can grill that, but you're not allowed to cook a brisket.
It's awesome.
By cultural rule only, I assume.
Right. You get you get kicked out of barbecue. So
what about, okay, so is that a Georgia specific thing, or like can you go to South Carolina and smoke a brisket?
No.
No.
Nope.
You have to go to Texas if you want to smoke brisket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a ranch thing. That's Texas, Oklahoma, that out that area. Pat, where did you grow up, in Virginia or something, right?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Did you ever eat meat ever?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you enjoy it as a younger person? And did you have a good, like, was there a sandwich or just a weird meat that you had in your area that
Well, there's a few things like my dad used to periodically cook pork brains. He would scramble them with eggs, and you get at the store. You could get a little tin of pork brains the size of those little round tin cans, like you get like little peas in or something. Like if you get Jolly Green Giant little pea cans, they would sell pork brains in a little can that size. You can scramble those with eggs.
Nope.
Or liver. We ate liver, calf liver, and beef liver and chicken liver, chicken gizzards, or that's some good eating.
Yeah. Well, in South Carolina, I mean, you go 5 miles and you're eating a different kind of barbecue.
Yeah, well, see, South Carolina has the somewhat unusual mustard-based barbecue, which is shredded pork. Although you can do chicken, and despite what Ray says, sometimes you'll get people putting barbecue sauce on beef or chicken. But they had the mustard-based barbecue, which I actually like. Sometimes I'll actually put that on like a vegetable product because you can get that. And then North Carolina has the vinegar-based barbecue.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
Which is actually a really interesting flavor profile.
Vastly different than the others. It has its own. Yeah, it's very different.
Yeah. Yep.
But still really good.
Yeah, and in Georgia, we're more of the molasses and tomato.
Yeah, and to Ray's point, I grew up in South Carolina. I moved back there for a few years after working, and we lived just a couple miles away from a place that was all you could eat barbecue, and they actually had, it was this intersection, so they actually had vinegar, mustard, and tomato based barbecue all in the same place, and that was kind of their shtick. And they did pig pull-ins, which is you get a little small pig and roast the pig and just put the whole pig out there on the buffet and you could just go yank off your fresh pork, pulled pork.
Now, you said little pig. You're not talking about like a suckling pig.
No, like literally a little small pig. It wasn't, it was like, I don't know, 20 or 30, like a little pig, like literally roasted, barbecued, and you would go pull it off the bone right there on the buffet.
Yeah.
So
a little more.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Wonderful. Jess, God, you're a Maine, you're a Western New York. You probably ate too much lobster growing up, and you're sick of chicken wings by now, right?
Sorta. I'm actually not a fan of lobster, but maybe it's because I had too much as a kid.
Yeah. Were you
Yeah.
forced into it? Because my parents vacationed in Bahama every summer, and they loved lobster. They just go up there and eat lobster rolls and get lobster, 2, maybe even sometimes 3 times a day if they got it in their omelet in the morning or something like that. They just went up there and just ate lobster seriously every fucking meal. And
Yeah,
drove
a lot of people don't get sick of it. A lot of people can have it, at least once, twice a week. Especially during the summers. And you do the lobster races, and there are lobster festivals, and people love it. But I'm not actually a huge fan.
So what is your as a kid, what was your thing that you liked? Was there a main weird specialty?
Not really. No, I mean, I mentioned how my pappy used to bring home scrapple from Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
but I didn't really have one. No, I mean, just all the regular stuff, bologna, woohoo! But here,
Fried?
yeah, we'd fry it sometimes. But here in
Yeah.
Western New York, I know we talk about wings, and no, I can never have enough wings. And let me tell you, we do them so much better here than elsewhere. But have
Yeah.
I ever on the show talked about beef on weck?
I've heard. I don't know if it was you, but I've definitely heard it mentioned. So, yeah, what is that again?
It's a special kind of roast beef sandwich. It's a roast beef au jus with a bit of horseradish on a kummelweck roll. And a kummelweck roll, this is a big specialty all around Buffalo. It's got caraway seeds and a lot of heavy salt on it. So you get the salt and the caraway with the roast beef, and it's really good. It's such a Buffalo food. The original name of Buffalo Wild Wings, which a lot of people know, was originally Buffalo Wild Wings and Weck, was the original name of the place. But,
Okay, I heard about this sandwich on an episode of a different podcast. I know where I heard about it now. Yeah, but yeah, I've definitely heard of that sandwich now that you have mentioned it. It sounds delicious. I'd totally eat the hell out of that.
It's a really good way to eat meat. And of course, with wings, the important thing is getting them nice and crispy. Either fry them a little bit before you cook them, get a little bit of char there, get a little bit of grease on it, or cook them on a really high heat, and just kind of ladle the sauce over them partway through, and then again at the end with butter.
Yeah,
Of course, butter in the sauce.
I'm not a fan of the baked wing. I gotta have them fried,
deep fried. Yep.
deep fried,
Deep fried, no batter.
Not pan fried, deep fried. Yeah.
It's the way to go, and so many places do not make them that way. So I'm glad you guys are down.
Agreed.
Yeah. And the sauce.
And then,
yeah, I've just discovered the secret to sauce recently, and the butter. You mentioned butter, but yeah, it's like a 50-50 butter to like Frank's or something. It's fucking delicious wing sauce. So good. The more butter, the better, of course.
Yep, and a little cayenne and a dash of Tabasco and vinegar to taste. Just get it just right. Obviously, you don't want to curl the butter, so just a dash. Yeah, I love me some wings. I'm hungry now.
Yeah, good Buffalo regional, of course. Yeah.
So, and Jen was asking about sous vide.
Oh yeah, sous vide.
So the big thing in the summertime is you go over to people's house and you bring meat and cook it on the barbecue and everything. And I love barbecued chicken thighs, but you just have to murder them on a grill to get the inside cooked. And especially if you get them sauced too early, and the sauce has got molasses in it, it's going to start burning right away. So when I got started with sous vide, one of the first things that I did was sous vide a bunch of chicken thighs, and then we took them to over to a friend's house, and so they're already perfectly cooked. They're still super juicy because they've been cooked inside the bag with just salt, pepper, and garlic. And then you take them out, splash sauce on them, and put them on the grill. And it only has to be on there long enough to get a little char to it, and then it's done. You don't have to worry about it being bloody pink inside. So that's my go-to summer sous videing.
And sous vide. One of my main things about why I hate cooking in the summer is that my house gets fucking hot and it's disgusting. Does sous vide avoid that aspect of cooking? That water doesn't actually boil, right? So you don't actually disperse a lot of heat throughout your house.
No.
I hate it when my wife turns the oven.
My sous vide has a lid on it on the water bath because that helps when you have a really long cook time that you don't get a lot of evaporation. But yeah, you're only looking at. I mean, if you do a really probably about the highest temp I sous vide at is about 180. So it's
like put it on your washer or something, not even in the you said you put
and
it.
That's where we did when we did the prime rib. We did that in just a big Rubbermaid tote on top of the washing machine.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Oh, Dwight, Pennsylvania. No, you're New Jersey. Have you had Scrapple? I assume in Jersey. You had Scrapple, right?
Yes. I prefer pork roll though.
Oh yeah, tell me. You got to tell people about pork roll. People who don't know about pork roll need to know about it.
Well, it's Taylor ham in North Jersey, pork roll in Philadelphia area in South Jersey. It's looks kind of like bologna, but it doesn't taste anything like that. You slice it thin, and you fry it up. And pork roll, egg and cheese on a Kaiser roll is a staple in this area.
I had that definitely a few times in high school, introduced to me by a friend who grew up in the area. That was one of the local sandwiches. I totally had forgotten about it. I haven't had one in over 20 years.
Oh, they're amazing.
It's a fucking good little sandwich, man.
Can I add my chicken? How I do my
absolutely.
chicken for just a caveat off of Ray's how I do. And yes.
Hey, Dwight.
Yes.
This is meat week after all.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I don't want to take too long, but
have at it.
Now, what I'm going to say first is going to sound sacrilegious, but just bear with me because I hate when I take a bite of chicken and all the skin comes off and all the flavor, all the sauce and the seasonings and everything else come off with it. So the first thing I do is I pull the skin off, and I usually use legs and thighs, like Ray said. But first thing I do, I put it in a plastic bag and I marinate it in apple cider or apple juice overnight, and then drain that off, put a little bit of olive oil in the bag, and put my spices on there. Usually garlic powder, seasoned salt, maybe some sazon. You know what that spice is?
Yep.
Mix that up, and then I throw that on the grill. I cook that on the grill, and then get it cooked over low heat so it doesn't scorch like you said, because it will. But it'll cook all the way through, and that's a cool thing about cooking the chicken on the bone like that. It doesn't dry out like a chicken breast will. Mm-hmm. But then the last 5 minutes is when I put the sauce on and then close the lid just long enough for it to caramelize and get in all the little nooks and crannies of the chicken, and it thickens up and it's awesome. So that's how I do mine.
Sounds amazing.
Very nice. Meat week. Anybody else have any other final meat thoughts? How is a hot dog best served? I like the people in Chicago who get their panties in a bunch if you dare.
To 5-year-olds.
Yeah. If you put ketchup anywhere near a hot dog, they get all bent out of shape.
Yeah, I think it's probably been 45 years since I've had a hot dog.
That's pretty amazing.
They're still good. They're still there for you if you want one.
How many?
And I have been to the factories that produce hot dogs. They're not that bad.
Yeah, same thing. I worked at Taco Bell in high school, late middle school, high school. A long time ago. People always are like, "Oh my God, Taco Bell's." There's absolutely nothing wrong with Taco Bell. It's totally high standard, fine grade everything. I don't know why people always get bent out of shape about that. It's great. All right. Good meat week, guys. Is that it? Show's over? Meat week?
I mean, that part of the show is probably over. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Sergio is up next, and I bet you this motherfucker has all sorts of meat stories. He's got the South American influence. What did he say? Is he? He's not Chilean, is he? Where did he say he's from? Argentina.
Uruguay.
Yes. So I'm sure he's got like all sorts of crazy fucking meat. So let's get down with Sergio and celebrate Meat Week.
Hey, Sergio here again. It's been a few weeks since I've been able to find some time to continue Layla's story. You know, surviving the wasteland and shit. But here goes a good one. So months have passed since Layla and Al first met. They would periodically get together and go on what honestly sounded like adventures to me, but she never called him that. She mentioned he would constantly ask for cement. He was building something big, but she didn't mind. Seemed like she started liking having him around. Maybe it gave her a purpose, rather than just hating everything. But one day he shows up, very excited, talking about, I found clues for the mother lode. Biggest treasure in the wasteland, he said. I don't know if Layla was happier hearing about the treasure or just seeing Al so excited, but she quickly agreed. Why not, she said. Maybe it's some new codes and I can finally end this quickly. So off they went to a building called the Hornwright Industrial Headquarters. And as soon as they walked in the door, they were surrounded by Scorched. The building had multiple levels with a large opening in the middle. And on every level was a Scorched shooting down at them. It didn't take long for Layla to take out most of them. And I'm sure Al did some heavy lifting too. Once it was quiet, Layla noticed a terminal in the lobby. After some quick reading, it was clear she needed to head to an office that belonged to a woman named Penny. She had some more info on the so-called mother lode. A few stories up, she finds the office. On her terminal, it mentions going up to the floors where the executive offices were. But in order to use the executive elevator, she needed a key card. And the only way to get a key card was to be an employee of the building. And this required a test. Luckily for her, their terminal wasn't far. And I don't know if she found the answers or she's just damn smart, but according to her, she passed it on the first try. After acquiring the key card, she takes the elevator up. I had no idea where Al was, she said, but I'm pretty sure he was still in the building. Once upstairs, she finds a computer who tells her to repair a beacon. This was a lot more work than she signed up for. And where the hell is Al? I'm going to skip some back and forth stuff she had to do. A bit boring, honestly. But after getting the repaired beacon, she was granted access to the subroom. This is where the beacon launcher was located. But right before she heads down the elevator, she gets a message on her Pip-Boy. I don't know what to do, she reads. Where are you? After a quick trip back down to the lobby, it was clear to her that Al is Al, she said. She had almost finished all the steps and this guy was still in the lobby. What he lacked in brains, he made up in strength and kindness. So I just told him what to do and waited for him by the elevator. Once he caught up, they headed down to the subroom. In the center was the beacon launcher. Once we put the beacon in, that's when the real magic happened. The whole room began to shake, and a huge drilling machine shot up from the ground. I have to admit, I was scared. But having Al there with me made it a lot better, she said. After this, we noticed a docking dispenser. It's where we found 2 iron ore, black titanium, aluminum, silver ore, 60 caps, and plans for a combat rifle. Maybe not a motherlode of a find, but I'm sure she enjoyed the adventure. You could tell by the way she told that story. Well, that's it for this week with the adventures of Layla and Al. That was the Motherlode side quest, obviously. Very simple. I mean, it was two of us in the building, even though one of us didn't seem to be around for most of it. But it was enjoyable. And I didn't use the combat armor, the combat rifle plan, because that's not what my character is built for. But it was good just to get to play a little bit. Well, that's it for this week, guys. Thanks, and see you in the wasteland.
Thank you, Sergio. Very nice feedback, sir. Thank you for putting her in there.
That was great.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Jess.
I was going to say, good to hear more of his adventures with Al, because we see a lot of Al, but good to hear Layla's perspective again, too. I like that some of their stories are from both sides.
Yeah, they're a bosom buddies, those two. The odd couple. I guess Jerry wasn't very helpful during that their whole horn right adventure.
That seemed to be that perspective.
Yeah, I think Layla's always thinks Jerry can do better, or Al can do better.
Yeah, I don't remember Al saying he was kind of sitting on his hands.
Al's like, he left that whole part out. Just twiddling his thumbs at the bottom. Very nice. Thank you, Sergio. Always nice to hear from you, sir. Beardy Sai is up next. Let's go ahead and say hi to Simon.
The Journey of Ellie, Part 1. Ellie had to leave the vault. She didn't want to go. She had a good life. She kept to herself, tended her reactors, and didn't have to deal with anyone. The Overseer stopped by for chat occasionally, but everyone else just left her alone. Then came Reclamation Day. Everyone out before we shut down the life support, the recording said. She waited until the others were gone, sleeping in until the last possible moment, then ventured out. It was so bright. She hated the brightness of the world. It was big and open and full of who knows what. She wished for the night, at least she wouldn't have to see the land stretching off on all sides around her. She needed a drink. She scouted out about the vault entrance and scrounged up some basic weapons and set off. Without any better plan, she followed the Overseer's instructions and looked for her camp, and then followed her on to Flatwoods. There'd be a bar in Flatwoods. Along the way, she spent a bit of time planning some modifications for the improvised pistol she'd found. If she was going to have to use it, and it looked like she was, she didn't want it blown up in her hand. She hated long arms. She'd skipped that part of vault firearms training with a faint reactor emergency. A good pistol, however, that felt like an extension of herself. She could just reach out and touch something from afar, and bam, down it went. And afar was exactly where she wanted to be when she saw those mutant ghoul things. She was perfectly content to lurk in the shadows and pick them off. Let the others get all in their faces if they wanted. She'd be quick, quiet, and deadly. In the agricultural centre outside of town, she found a holotape left by the Overseer. There was more personal information in that tape than Ellie had known from 25 years of working together. She was determined to find out more about the only person left alive that she could call a friend. After all, she didn't even know her name. Some bots wanted to feed her to the plants. It seems they thought people were plant food. It took a bit of ammo and some terminal hacking, but she cured them of that notion, and she hoped the change would stick. She followed the Overseer's trail onto her childhood home in Sutton, and then further on to Morgantown. First stop was the old high school, which was packed full of those zombie guys with the crystals growing from them. These ones were smart. They hunted her. The joke was on them now, as she'd gotten really good at blending into the shadows. She'd practically vanish whenever she stopped in cover. Then all it took was the pop of a silenced pistol, and another one was down. Vault-Tec University was next. Ellie really hoped she'd find some decent food there. Cram and snack cakes just weren't cutting it anymore. The Overseer's tape was in the lobby. She was so proud to graduate and so happy to have gotten engaged. In all their time in the vault, the Overseer had never mentioned a husband. What had happened to Heaven? The war, she supposed. Below the university was a training vault. It seemed just like home to Ellie, except for the ghouls. The shambling, mindless creatures seemed to be everywhere. Ellie ran and ran, but kept getting cut off at every turn. Low on ammo, she was lashing out all round with a combat knife she'd found, but still they kept coming. She felt sick from radiation, her head swam from the pain of her wounds, and her vision blurred from blood loss. Her knife broke. Lashing out with fists and feet and nails, she fought off the remaining ghouls, clawing, gouging, biting. Hot blood in her mouth, her teeth ripped chunks from the remains of the ghoul. Her head cleared, and she felt strong. Equally elated and disgusted with herself, she stumbled out of the vault, almost tripping over the corpses of its student dwellers where they'd died trying to claw their way out. She really needed a drink. She found just the thing across town. A poster advertising a frat party. Sure, the students would be dead, but there'd still be the booze. And there was. Leftover beers and bottles of liquor among the bodies, but nothing nearly enough to erase what she'd just done. And then she found it. A blue bottle labeled Nuka Shine. Its soft glow called to her. She downed the bottle and the world went wild. Colors flowed into one another and she felt invincible. More ghouls appeared in the house and she dispatched them with ease, gorging herself on their bodies. Her vision darkened and she collapsed. The world slowly came back, blindingly bright like when she'd first left the vault. This wasn't Morgantown anymore. She was on a boat. Beside her lay a harpoon gun, and hauled up over the stern was a dead, mutated dolphin. Had she done that? How long had she been out for? What the hell had happened? Where could she get more? On the back of the bottle was a clue, a riddle to find the source of the spirit. That trail led her back to Morgantown and onto a tattoo parlor where she found a hidden door to a basement speakeasy. It was a nice place, but she couldn't find any more Nuka Shine. She did find Biv, though, a crazy booze-addled robo-blaine who was hopelessly addicted to the drink. He helped her find the recipe, and after hunting down the right ingredients, she could finally make her own. She may be all alone in the world that's intent on killing her, but at least she could have a proper drink. Well, that's it for part one, folks. I'm going to keep it short and maybe put some off to the next one. But currently Ellie's on level 28 and she's doing pretty good, although I haven't managed to make many of the specified events pop just yet, but we'll see what happens. She's made her camp in her location of the Toxic Valley. She's actually just practically inside the scout camp. We'll have more on that later. But it's a trading or general store camp, so feel free to come along if you see it and give me some caps. Mostly I've been playing in survival just to get that extra little XP boost, unless I'm doing some quest that's going to have me jumping all over the map. I'm playing it out in survival, and it's actually been really good fun because just that little extra dose of mortality, I think, puts an edge onto things. When you can't respawn even right where you left it or right where you died, it puts a good little edge onto it. Stats wise, she's doing pretty well. Her agility is climbing high and pistol skills are getting good. I'm going for a gunslinger build, so I currently have gunslinger and master gunslinger, so I'm actually churning out a bit of damage from pistols. The one thing I don't have is any perception-based perk cards, so I have no lock picking, and I had never appreciated how useful one level of lock picking has been. There's so much I can't get into, and it's an absolute pain in the ass. But such is the way of things. So I'm going to leave that for tonight. I will say this is going really well. I'm enjoying this new character, and I'm looking forward to the next few quests. Keep an eye out for me in the group next week. Myself and my wee girl will be hitting up Dublin Comic Con, where I'll be bringing out my new Pioneer Scout costume, and Lucy has looked for a Vault Princess, which I'm just putting the finishing touches on. So stay tuned for some of that, and hopefully I'll see some of you guys in the wasteland. Take it easy, folks. Good night.
Now I know he's does stuff for real with the Scouts, but I think did he make a cosplay like Pioneer Scout costume? I think he
Yeah.
was gonna put
Yeah,
patches
you got
together.
the Pioneer Scout logo and all that stuff.
Yeah, I know he was getting some patches. I'm pretty excited about seeing that. That's pretty cool, Simon. I like that. What? Oh man, his backpack. That's gonna be sweet. Oh gosh, that's pretty cool, man. Looking forward to the pictures. He mentioned hopping into survival for the XP bump. Then that made me think. They snuck in an XP weekend on us here. I didn't know about this. I maybe Jess did because she's got her ear to the ground more than me.
Not this one. We couldn't
Mm.
hear the footsteps coming. It was a total surprise.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
That's
I
pretty
think it
awesome.
was one of those things that they were like, shit, you know what? We should do another XP weekend.
Yeah, 'cause we've been fucking
Well, we
up
got
so
the patch coming
horribly.
out on Thursday.
We're gonna really fuck up their game, so we might as well give them a little boost. No, but seriously, double XP weekend again. Remind me, what is the most efficient? What is the best way to maximize this weekend? What are we gonna do to get the absolute every squeeze drop of XP out of this weekend? What are we doing?
Play.
That's the best answer. Just have fun, and you'll be rewarded twice as much for the fun you have.
Yeah. I mean, granted, you get spend less time building your camp
Oh,
and more time killing things, but you're going to be doing meat week all week, so you kill a lot of stuff at meat week.
Yeah, especially if you go out in the mire or the bog where you get culpers and I had a legendary Mirelurk queen on one of mine. So,
Yep.
So Ray, what's your take? Is which is more efficient to go farm high level critters like at White Spring or the Burrows, or to power around trying to do as many events as possible?
Well, I mean, events do give you a little bit extra, on top of the stuff that you have to kill. So as long as it's an event that you don't spend a lot of time just running around, but you actually have a lot of enemies to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah, that is tricky because I just did Death Blossoms, for example, and like Death Blossoms, it's in the forest, so you do a lot of running around. You're killing fairly low level enemies.
Mhm.
Mama Dolces is the same. Mama Dolces, I think, is kind of fun a little bit, but it's the enemies are fairly low level. And it takes a long time,
right.
Whereas
And you only
So line in the sand is a good one.
and I know you like AWOL armaments, right, Pat? I think those high level events you do get a lot of XP.
Yeah.
And
Like AWOL armaments doesn't seem to pop up as much as Line in the Sand and some of the others, but yeah, you get probably it's like maybe as many as like 40 gutsies, and it always it always ends with a 3-star legendary. I think it's always a 3-star, but sometimes you get other legendaries. So yeah, you get killing a level 50 Mr. Gutsies, and that's pretty good. That one I find really hard when my character was rifle build. I found it really it was just sucked ammunition because those things have such high armor. But if you've got a melee build, then it's not too bad.
I had a really fun play session by myself earlier in the week where I decided that I was going to do any event, no matter what it was. I was going to complete the event and then go to the next closest event. But then after that, I decided after the first event, I was like, oh, there's a workshop right here. Oh, I'm going to include workshops in this loop. So I had like 6 or 7 workshops and was doing the events because each event took me very close to the vicinity of another workshop. It was really strange how it just started me in this really nice loop.
That makes a lot of sense.
But then I would complete the event, get a workshop, and go to the next event, and then have to go back, defend the first workshop, and then go to the next event, and then loop back to workshops, and then go back to the third or fourth, and then loop back to an event. It just timed itself almost perfectly, where it would let me loop back and defend the thing, and go attack one, and then get a new one, and then go do an event, and then get a workshop. It's just worked really well. And I think during XP weekend, that might be a good way to, because it's not only killing stuff, like you get the waves of stuff, but you also get the when you complete, like Ray mentioned, like when you complete the event, you actually get like the extra 200 or 300 XP. So it'll be like 600 or 700 XP now.
Uranium Fever is another good one. That's at least 3 legendaries.
Yeah, 'cause you
And
get the balance of enemy experience on top of the event experience. Yep.
I Uranium Fever, I know that's pretty popular, but I don't know. I played it a couple of times lately, and it seems like I don't know if it's just buggy, like so much of patch 11 has been, or if they've changed the spawn rates. But it seems like it's not nearly as enemy efficient as it used to be.
But it did go through a phase where it was rough, but I did it today, and it was nonstop.
Okay. All right, I'll have to check it out next time it pops. Yeah, I'm probably going to be on a fair amount this weekend. Take advantage of the double XP and
Awesome.
and everything.
Look forward to seeing you out there.
Yeah.
It's on the whole leveling thing. The Xbox chat has been going crazy tonight. Like sometimes it's real busy, but tonight it's like watching a Wall Street stock ticker. And or it was for at least the first couple hours we were on. And it seems like people are getting 3 or 4 levels already just doing primal cuts and meat week. So that's a good argument for events. Right there.
And I've gotten 2 tonight at level 185. So that's pretty for me, at least anyway. That getting 2 in one night with with my main character that's unheard of anymore. So and I've been doing primal cuts. I've done Graham 3 times and primal cuts every time I could see it. So
in what region? In Cranberry or Mire?
I did it once in Ash Heap just for change of pace, but mostly Bog and Cranberry. Yeah.
Cool.
I mean Bog and the Mire.
Yeah, I got 4 with Abby today. She's now 128.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to. The only problem with my roundtable characters, I'm doing the Enclave now, so I need Enclave events. So that I don't know if that's going to be level maximizing. I may give her a try tomorrow, see how I do with those.
Yeah, get even the one legendary at the end of the primal cuts on a lot of them. That'll add up for you.
Yeah.
I never see Enclave events when I'm doing the actual quest. Now that I have beat it, they just won't stop. They are constantly everywhere. The bots on parade is always on. Always.
Yeah, Bots on Parade is quick. It has the virtue of being quick. I think it's kind of boring. But what's the one? I actually like a real blast because you get that very satisfying big giant explosion at the end of that one.
Is that the one in Grafton?
It can pop up in different places. It definitely shows up in Grafton. Grafton, Harper's Ferry, and so I think anywhere that it's got because there's the little radar dishes,
right?
Like, where there's the one where you align the radar dishes and they zap the mutated creatures, but then there's also Real Blast where you also align the radar dishes. So I think those, I believe, can come up either place. Either of those events can come up everywhere that you have the radar dishes.
Hey, you guys, I thought that I was a brilliant marketeer, market brain. I doing my vending machine stuff, I was like, oh my god, I cracked the damn code, Jess. I found the correct price structure to get rid. It was like flying off the shelves, mad Fashnacht, everything going, masks go. I sold, I don't know, maybe at least a quarter, if not half the masks in my inventory this past week. And I was like, God, I am such a brilliant businessman. I should write a book.
Huh.
You know what it was?
What was it?
Ray? Retort?
You weren't giving away for free, were you?
No. The one of the challenges this week was to level up while wearing a Fashionette mask.
Well, that's good though. You can keep an eye on that, and when that challenge pops up, you can just jack up the price on all your Fosnock
I
masks.
should have fucking jacked up the price. I shouldn't have lowered it. I shouldn't have priced the structure and tiered them. I should have made them a
No,
fucking
but
$1,000.
once something gets into the challenges, though, it'll repeat. So I noticed tonight I was at your camp. You still got a lot of those damn masks. So you just delist them now, and then once that weekly challenge repeats, go in there and you list them for like $250 each.
Yeah, that's a good plan. I'm not a smart. I ain't no smart businessman. If you guys figured that out.
It sounds like collusion to me, Andrew. You and Bethesda.
So Andrew, go to Fort Defiance and gather up a bunch of hats and outfits, and put those in your shop, because that one's another one that comes up all the time. That most people don't go there.
Which outfits in particular?
The
nurse,
the asylum worker outfit,
or asylum worker. Sorry, to wear it while leveling up. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I mean you're gonna go there anyway to get a shit ton of straight jackets and kill a lot of ghouls. So pick those up and throw those in your because about every other week, it's one of the level up requirements.
Is it one of the 0 out of 3 leveled? I hate that they do this level up 3 different categories in order to get the one. Now it used to just be level up and you get a few atoms. Now it has to be level up while doing these 3 different fucking things. It's so annoying.
Oh, it's a piece of cake. As long as you plan ahead, you usually get them in one level up.
Yeah,
I have to be paying attention though, Ray. I'm not good at that sort of thing.
And sometimes, Ray, you have to be wearing power armor, which is not good for Andrew. We know that as well.
That is not. That is
no.
But at least
I don't wear power armor, and I always find something else. It push come to shove, there's always naked.
Yeah, I usually do well-fed power armor over level 76. That's when I usually pop that one in one step.
I don't advise the naked and using a protest sign though.
2134 naked and protest sign. Right, got it.
Meat week. So Pat, were you going to call it a night soon?
I am. So yeah, the guys, this has been great fun. Dwight, good to do the show with you. Thank you for letting me run the Scream with Your Phone. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was wonderful, Pat.
Good job.
I am sure we will see many of you in the Wasteland on this hot double meat, double XP weekend.
You can find him at Selfie on Twitter. Pat, thank you so much for being on the show this evening.
All right, good to hang out, guys. Enjoy the rest of the show.
See ya.
Night.
See you, Pat.
See you in the Wasteland. All right. We have one more feedback, and then Rebecca for Fallout Terminal Velocity and any other topics that we'd like to get into this evening. So we better go ahead and push on into Will here. Oh, we always love hearing from Will. One of our favorite stalwart storytellers. And little birdie might have told me that, I don't know, guys, put your ear to the ground, but we might be starting a photo-based social media app thing soon, and someone who just submitted this feedback might have something to do with that.
So subtle.
Hell am I? I opened my eyes and found myself in the middle of the forest, sitting at a long dining table piled high with food and adorned by balloons. It was a scene reminiscent of the Mad Hatter's Tea Party from Alice in Wonderland. No white rabbit, no Cheshire cat, that's good. And at least my pants are on, that's something. But where the hell am I? I asked again to the empty chairs around me as my mind scrambled to piece together the preceding events. Let's see. Brock had said something about a frat party. Sarah and Jesse were there. I looked at one of the empty bottles on the table. Oh yeah, something about some new fancy drink. So the 4 of us stood in a circle and chugged one down. Oh, and ghouls. I remember killing ghouls. That's it. What was in that stuff? I had to find out, and I had to find everyone else to make sure I hadn't done anything that could jeopardize my aspirations of political office. Oh, and make sure they're okay. But what if I had done something? I already had a tough decision to make. Do I own it, apologize, and try to make amends? Or do I bribe everyone for their silence? What would Uncle Tommy do? I checked my pockets to see how many caps I had. Then I took the label from the bottle, something called Nuka Shine. There was a riddle on the back that led to a speakeasy hidden inside a tattoo parlor by the university. Outside, though, I saw the others approaching and instantly knew I was safe, as we all had the same sheepish look with the undertone of terror, screaming, "Please tell me I didn't do anything stupid." Inside, we met a robotic alcoholic named Biv E. Ridge. Ah, beverage. I get it. Clever. Biv gave us half the ingredients list, but said the other was locked inside a password-protected supply room. But a quick trip to the Ed Pet house in some Nuka-Cola nut Lewis's room gave us the password. I was a little jealous. One of the others grabbed the Nuka grape before I saw it. Nuka grape is my fave. The supply room was stocked with the final secret ingredient, nuclear material. Ah, it all makes sense now. We all vowed never to touch the stuff again, and then immediately began collecting materials to brew it ourselves. The hardest ingredient to find was a Nuka Quantum. I searched the overturned Nuka Cola truck just down the street from my camp, but no luck. So we all went to the Nuka Cola factory. Having a group of 4 made the ghouls inside mostly inconsequential, but I was extra sneaky, shotgun at the ready as we searched. Jesse found another Nuka grape. Damn it, I'm never going to get one. But I guess he deserved it since he also found quantums for all of us. However, outside, Sarah dropped a bag on the ground and said, "There, that's for you guys." It was filled with Nuka grapes, 3 for each of us. I did a little dance. Back at the speakeasy, we brewed up the Nuka Shine, and Biv seemed to think it was good enough to drink, despite the permanent brain damage it causes. Works for me. We departed and all went to our respective camps. Well, they did. I had a nice, cushy setup by Aaron Holt Farms, but something one of the others said stuck with me. They had waken up from their Nuka Shine blackout in the mire, and all the deadly creatures there sounded awful. Yet he was happy he hadn't ended up in the cranberry bog, the most dangerous area in Appalachia. I decided if I wanted to serve the people, I have to know the plight of the people. So I packed up and headed southeast to experience it firsthand. Along the way, I encountered a super mutant behemoth. I knew I couldn't allow this monstrosity to live, so I came up with a plan. I laid out all my frag mines up the trail. I would sneak attack it with my black powder rifle from along the ridge, then toss all my grenades at it and switch to my shotgun if it gets close. Plan in place, I put it into action. Where the hell am I? As I regained consciousness, I swore to never touch the Nuka Shine again. Wait, I didn't have any. Oh, right, the behemoth. Maybe that was a bad idea. I needed way more experience before I tried something like that again. So I started my trek southeast again, this time steering clear of the behemoth. Finally into the bog, I was attacked by a swarm of bloat flies. Normally this wouldn't be a concern, but these guys seemed to not care at all about the shotgun blasts I was throwing at them. Next I knew, I was running for my life from flies towards some automated surface air missiles I saw off in the distance. Some quick repairs and the turrets killed the bloat flies for me. If this is how deadly just the flies are, the cranberry bog is indeed dangerous. I can't believe I had to use missile turrets to kill a bloat fly. So embarrassing. Finally, I made my way to a small island with a silver deposit. Perfect place to build my camp. There were even fresh cranberries growing in the nearby grove. The encircling water would provide a natural defense against the land animals, but I was still going to have to build a fortress if I wanted to stay safe from the many scorch beasts flying about. I spent the next several weeks building what ended up looking like a castle. I hope to one day be president of the United States, but I suppose king of my castle will do for now. I invited Tyr and Brock over to show off the new place, but after running out of ammo and having all our armor broken fighting 2 nearby sheep squatch, they seemed eager to get out of the cranberry bog, especially after the scorch beast began circling directly above our heads. I had gotten used to it, but understood their desire to leave. So we left for Brock's camp. He was in need of some screws for some power armor he was building, so we all went out scavenging for some. No luck at Greg's mining, so we tried Bolton Greens. Some robot was freaking out that the place wasn't ready for some distinguished guests that were coming up, and somehow talked us into rounding up the loafing wait staff and setting the tables. I wondered who exactly these distinguished guests were that they wouldn't notice we just picked up the dirty plates off the floor, and what exactly was on the menu for that matter. From all the half-eaten corpses everywhere on the ground, it seemed like some serious cannibalism had been going on. We weren't going to stick around to find out, but Billingsley seemed exceedingly grateful and paid us 70 caps. Not bad. Plus, it was hilarious watching Tier's explosive shotgun send some scorched flying dozens of feet off a small cliff. Despite the several globes we had found there, which contained the valuable screws, Brock still needed more. The penitentiary, maybe? Off we went. Inside, the warden confused us with security agents sent by the governor and began insulting us. I told him he might be looking at the next governor and to watch how he talks to me, but he directed us to escort a patrol bot around the grounds. A few ghouls that ran through the flamethrower traps in cell block A were easily killed, but when he went into the courtyard, there were several super mutants. So I pulled out my submachine gun before I had the awesome idea to repair the machine gun turrets in the tower to help clear them out. But the turrets began firing at us. I quickly destroyed it, and when I went back downstairs, the guard disciplined me. How was I supposed to know the turrets would fire at us? It's not my fault they have bad programming. But he sentenced me to death and immediately executed me on the spot. Fortunately, Brock was there with a stim pack and brought me back to life. The guard was okay with this for some reason, and we continued our patrol, heading through solitary into a security station. Brock with his spiked board, Tyr and I both with shotguns. The bot did whatever bots do when they go in those little chambers while we defended him outside. Tyr had the left approach, Brock the right, and I stayed in the middle crosswalk connecting the two. I used concentrated fire on the legs of the ghouls to slow them, allowing Brock and Tyr to finish them off. Finally, the guard came back out and we followed on. I noticed that Brock's board was no longer spiked. I'm not sure when, but he had replaced the spike with some strapped-on saw blades. Cool. I had a sledgehammer with some saw blades and electric coils, so I took that out so we could be twinsies. When the patrol finished, the warden paid us 20 caps. 20 caps for all that? All we had to do at the other place was set the table, and they paid us 70. That's government work for you, I guess. Brock and Tyr went back to their camps, but mine is all the way down in the Cranberry Bog, and Morgantown wasn't too far, so I went to the high school there to follow the overseer's trail again. Glad I did. Scored big with all the plastic inside. Plus, I was nearly out of shotgun shells, but the scorched I killed inside were carrying lots of them. A couple of attempts at some perfectly preserved pie. Third time's a charm. Nope. One of these days. Found some fancy lads' snack cakes. I'd give them to Brock next time I saw him. He'd probably smell them on me before I could even say anything, though. The man had an obsession. The overseer's journal talked about the passing of her mom, her boyfriend Evan, and being accepted into VTU. She didn't exactly say where she was headed next, but that must be the place. Outside the university, someone had built a camp geared towards helping others. I was so impressed with their camp that after using their workbenches and having a rest, I bought a Deathclaw Gauntlet mod that I didn't really need as a way to thank them for their generosity. I looted everything I could from inside the university, including all those wonderful lead weights that would eventually be turned into ammo, and scrapped it all at a bench in the lab before listening to the overseer's log. That one was bittersweet. Happy moments like graduating with honors, the announcement of Vault 76, and being proposed to. But she also talked of her father passing away and never getting to walk down the aisle with Evan. Through tears and sniffling, she said she was going home. As I finished listening, I saw another person I knew inside, Kevin. I told him I was about to head to Charleston to do the fire breathers training and asked if he wanted to join me. He helped me with the obstacle course, clearing away the enemies, and went through the Belching Betty mine with me so that I could complete the training, and then we parted ways. The Charleston Herald was right around the corner, and I thought that would be a good place to look through the archives, maybe get some insight to government activities while I was holed up underground, and hopefully some information on Uncle Tommy. But right across the street was the Hornwright building, and I found myself standing in a pool of toxic water in the lobby, going down another rabbit hole. The secretary's terminal said a reporter had been asking about a Project Motherlode. I began investigating. On the second floor, I found a senior exec's exam answer sheet, which would eventually be useful. I didn't like number 3, what to do when a local politician asks for donation in exchange for preferential legislation, the answer being dig up dirt on him to negotiate a lower price. But blackmail is just smart business, I guess. Sure hope that Nukashine incident doesn't come back to bite me. Anyways, I used the hiring terminal for an ID, allowing me access to the executive suite. On the elevator ride up, I wondered about all the dead super mutants in the building. Who had killed them? Certainly not the Scorched in here. This guys would have been no match for them. They all went down with just one shot from my shotgun. Upstairs, I took the key card to the Hornwright Estates while I was in Daniel Hornwright's office. Never know if that might come in useful. And I read his terminal. Talk of hiring someone to scare Senator Blackwell off of supporting the ballot Measure 6, which would replace human workers by automation. I remembered hearing my uncle complain about him, always interfering. Of course, nobody wants people to lose their job, but this was about the greater good and keeping America ahead of other countries by being more productive and efficient. I think it eventually came out he was a treasonist or something. In the other room, I met Motherlode, or rather a computer that connected to it. It sounded like a dying woman. She was requesting assistance, all vitals critical. Well, I have always been a sucker for a damsel in distress. Besides, maybe this computer would tell some other computers what I did for it, and when it came time for the machines to tally the votes for the election, I don't know. Who knows how they work? So I sorted through the terminal until I found the repair beacon acquisition code and ordered the part. Then went down to the sublevels to deploy the beacon. While I was standing in the toxic water, I mutated and discovered I now had the ability to turn invisible while standing still. Super cool. I deployed the beacon, and a giant machine that looked like the space slug in Empire Strikes Back emerged from the ground. This is no cave, I thought to myself. The motherlode reestablished her connection and left a gift for me. Just remember me come election time, huh? I still wanted to check the Herald as well as the Capitol building, but I was exhausted. I'm sure I could have found a bed somewhere in Charleston, but I just can't get a good night's sleep anymore without the relaxing sounds of Scorchbeast shrieks in the distance. Time for the king to go back to his castle.
Very nice. Always a treat, Will. Thank you so much for your submissions, and please always keep them coming. Like we said, Will's probably going to be helping us out with a little visual project coming up here pretty soon. So everyone look forward to that. Any thoughts on Will's feedback, guys?
Yeah, definitely. So Sarah's a duper now. She's handing out what 20 nuke grapes to people.
Oh yeah, how'd she get the grapes?
I was
Was
a
there-
happy recipient of that as well. And
Yeah, I never find the grape.
well, see, this is the way we had picked them up pretty steadily as we went around. So we gave her a whole bunch of them. Then
Okay.
she got the starch jeans to the point she didn't need them as much anymore. So she back to us a lot of them.
That's awesome. Did she hear Will grumbling a lot about not getting a nuke grape?
A little bit, but nah.
That's awesome. Okay, thanks for explaining that. I was pretty impressed. I didn't know if she was hoarding or what happened there. Will's camp. We've seen pics of it in the Facebook group, and he talks about finding the silver deposit on an island. That's a pretty cool camp he built. A nice little fortress.
It looks
I like
very
the,
cool walking around inside of it and everything.
I like the two-tone bands of building material on the outside. That's really nice.
Yeah, that's smart. And Hazel. Hayes. Hayes was governor, so now his new character is going to be president. She just can't stop. Delusions of grandeur. Just saying.
Plus, with that new camp, you can't walk, like 20 feet outside of that thing without running into something that's going to kick your ass.
It looks like a pretty scary place.
Yeah, he wasn't kidding. We used every bit of ammo we had to kill 2 sheep squatches.
Ain't that the rub, man?
That's amazing. You'd think building on an island he'd be safer from enemies, but I guess not.
The camp is, but if you go off of the little island just a little bit, yeah, forget it.
Well, Jess, it's only an island from the water. Anybody get that? Fly over everybody's head?
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, I was thinking Weezer.
Sorry. That's a Chief Brody quote from Jaws. He's scared of boats and the water, and he's like, "Well, why would a man scared of being on water live on an island?" He's like, "Well, it's only an island from the water." I think that's funny.
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah, one of my favorite movies. Love that one. Will, great feedback as always. Keep them coming, brother. Always a treat. We have fall of terminal velocity, and then just some other topics to get into. Jess was gosh, what sort of other stuff should we get into?
Okay, things I got listed. We can cut it down a little bit. I know we have an email from Josh too. I think Josh
yeah.
has an email. We've got just a couple quick things on Iguana bits we haven't covered. QuakeCon, if anybody wants to talk about that, and then
I'd like to hear about that, yeah.
Okay, what are you into first? What do you want?
First of all, I don't even know what QuakeCon is. Brief elevator pitch. What is QuakeCon? Where is it? That sort of thing. And why is Bethesda using it to reveal stuff?
So QuakeCon is a big convention started by players of Doom and Quake. Quake was an id property, id Software, which Bethesda bought, what was it, about 10 years ago now, right around the time of Rage or just after Rage. So they've made the last Doom and other games under the Bethesda banner. They've been part of Bethesda for, like I'm saying, maybe 8 to 10 years now. Anyway, they do QuakeCon because Quake has been a very popular game. It was one of the very first arena shooters that people competed in, early esports type stuff. And that convention has maintained under Bethesda's leadership, and it's grown because of that. So it's become kind of Bethesda's own convention. And so they're showing more stuff there. They're doing panels, and they did a 76 panel last Saturday. That was pretty interesting. About an hour with some of the developers.
Awesome. Thank you for that description. I had no idea what it was. That's really informative. What sort of highlights of the information were they given in the presentation?
I'll tell you my biggest highlight. There was the comment, an offhand comment about private servers, to which one of the leads said, "Private servers. All I can say is sooner than you think. They're coming sooner than you think."
Fucking God, yes.
Other things, they talked about a lot about Wastelanders coming up. That was exciting. We got new stuff there. We got a new Nuclear Winter map coming out soon, moving to Morgantown for Nuclear Winter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's going to be cool.
Will both of them be open, or will they just close the other one down? Or are they expanding to it, or like will they only have one area open at a time? How will that work?
Definitely not expanding. It's still limited space. I have a feeling they're going to switch them out. It's going to swap, but maybe you'll be able to choose. They haven't said yet. That's yet to be seen. I'm guessing it's going to swap, but the new area will be about 30% urban because it'll have all of Morgantown. They also mentioned that it'll have the highest point in the game. So that means over by Seneca Rocks. So it will probably include Monongahela Power Station and everything in between there on the new map. So
Yeah,
that
looked like it went up past the dam.
Nice. So a lot of good starting areas, and then probably, like I said, it's probably like 30% urban, because Morgantown's pretty big, so there'll be a lot more buildings.
Sweet.
So that's exciting. And I'm also curious, when the wall of fire hits Monongahela Power Station, is it going to blow? That could be a big boom.
Kaboom.
Did Ray? I know you watched the presentation too. Did anything else jump out at you?
So later in August, we're supposed to get the display cases.
Oh yeah, August 20th.
And in September, there's going to be a few different things. One I remember is the legendary vendor is going to have sales. Not quite sure how that's going to work out, but
maybe it'll be like some of those survival legendaries, like actual named legendaries that you can spend your script on at a lower price. Don't know, but it would be great if you could roll your own, pick and choose. I'm sure it won't be that, but that would be so nice.
Yeah.
Merkel was just loaded down with, legendary pitchforks or something. You got to get rid of them. Too many fell off the back of a truck, and they got to go fast.
Yeah, the
And vault raids.
Oh yeah, Vault 94. Gotta mention
Nice.
that. That's exciting.
What's happening with our NPCs?
So NPCs, that's the Wastelanders thing. So we're looking, that's a little further ahead. They did say Wastelanders is going to be November at this point. They haven't said when exactly, but November.
Yeah,
They are coming.
It's likely to be the anniversary.
Yeah, that would make sense. And they mentioned that the NPCs are going to be all over the map, so it is going to be more integrated than we were thinking. Not just like the space station, Anchor Farm, the areas where we've seen pictures of them, but you might meet some wandering NPCs. There might be events where NPCs show up. You may get companions that can come with you and hang out at your camp. So a lot more stuff than expected with the NPCs.
Yeah, they were saying that the experience right out of the vault is going to be very, very different. Just because you're going to be right away, there's going to be human NPCs that you're going to meet right away. So that'll bode well for future roundtable type of adventures because it'll mix it up a little bit.
That's a really good point. It's a whole new main quest that you can do from starting level. So we might be hitting it as higher level characters, but for a lower level, it'll really change the game.
I was about to ask if this is perfect timing in another way, just like a perfect lead into another season of Fallout 76 immediately after with the roundtable, because timing wise, we're ending this season in October or something, I think.
Yeah, it really is. But then again, like we were talking about how we missed some of the other games earlier. So,
yeah.
We still could. I would almost love, and I said this before, I would almost love to do a roundtable on 3 or something like we discussed. But then during the regular shows, when we're not doing feedback, just do updates on 76 and what we're doing in there, because it sounds like there'll still be plenty happening.
What would you do in Fallout 3 roundtable wise? Would you just do a main quest?
I would think main quest with specific side quests at the right level, right?
Yeah, because you really have to do side quests to be able to keep up with the levels of the enemies in the main quest.
Yeah, and maybe even delving into DLC like we did in New Vegas. Not necessarily at the end like that. We could integrate it a little more, but
is it structured in a manner where you have access to all the DLC as soon as you load the game? You don't have to complete the main quest in order to get access to anything like that?
I haven't done all the Fallout 3 DLC. Do you know, Ray? I know some of it.
I'm pretty sure you can. Most of it'll just destroy you if you go in too soon.
Yeah, but some Operation Anchorage or whatever, you can load in right away and get your own gear for that.
That was gonna be my next question. Would it be wiser to do the next season of Fallout 3 of just the main quest and then take those characters into the DLC? Because I've like Ray just sort of hinted at, I heard that the DLCs are instead of rolling new fresh young characters for a separate DLC season, to just roll into the DLCs with those same characters.
That's what we did on New Vegas, right? Saving pretty much all the DLC for the end, because that was most of that content. Yeah, so maybe that way. We can discuss when we get there. But Wastelanders, super exciting. The only other things I saw that I do like the idea of karma and reputation with these factions. We mentioned Vault 94. That's the first one they're rolling out. They're talking about 3 different difficulty levels. It is a raid. It is 4 people. And you get a lot of progressive rewards as you go through. So there will be stuff people really want from that. Hopefully it doesn't crash as much as Arctos Pharma did, Project Paradise. If they can get it better, and it'll be so good. But if they can't, it's going to kind of fail like that did.
What does high level raid mean?
Kind of like when you get in the elevator Project Paradise and it says this is designed for level 50 plus. I think they're saying the same with the vault raids. It's going to require coordination. They talked about there being puzzles as you go through, so puzzles as well, not Dima's Blue Nightmare, but But puzzles, I figure it's going to be a bit of you hold this switch while I stand on this one while someone else does a little gun emote and somebody else kills things. I mean, it's going to be a little complicated. Hopefully not too complicated because people can't even get the pylons right on the imposter quest. But
Okay.
we go in with friends.
Just seeing people try to run around figuring out how to make Meat Week work.
Oh my goodness. I mean, but the thing is, it's a 4-person thing and it's not going to be an event. That's the exciting thing. So one of the things that's different about raids and other online games compared to the way events run is we're at the mercy of, is the event going to spawn, random event. For things like raids normally, and probably this, you get your group together and you embark on it. You jump in, you join it, you start it. So it's going to happen on your schedule when you're actually ready to focus and get it done. So that's a good thing. And then they're talking about doing Vault 96, right? After they do 94? Do I have that right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's exciting. We'll see where it goes from there. Oh, and legendaries. You want to jump into Iguana Bits real quick?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, so for Iguana Bits notes this week, we already covered a lot of it because it's pretty much just Meat Week.
Wait, you and James didn't put together a whole audio production after surgery? Come on.
Yeah, no, we weren't even home this weekend. We didn't get home till Monday.
Sorry, this just isn't acceptable.
You spoiled us. Now we're accepting it. We're expecting it. You know.
We will do better. We will do better. Let's be honest. We needed something to talk about, and we didn't get an update or anything till today. So, but the Iguana Vista posted today. We talked about double XP a lot. That's going through noon on Monday. So y'all have 4 days. 4 days to level up. Additional, something everyone's been asking for. We got a new song on the radio. Not a DJ. Not a bunch of songs.
One damn song.
One damn song. The cover of Ring of Fire from the Nuclear Winter.
Okay.
But it's something, a little more variety. Let's see. I'm really hoping we get a DJ with Wastelanders too. Can I just say that again?
Hey, that'd be fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would
And of
be
course, there'd be a fun quest about helping him reassemble the radio tower and getting the transponder and the transmitter and everything all together.
Oh, and if
That'd
you're working for the Raider side, it'll be about Rose trying to take it back and cut his tower down.
You know, I was just about to say, as long as Rose has nothing to do with it, this will be great.
If you screw, okay. Anyway, yeah. Oh man, I haven't even thought about Rose in a week. I was feeling so good. Also, in this, with what happened today, which really they're calling update 11.5, but it's really Graham plus a hot fix because they still need to fix things. There were a lot of power armor fixes this week, but the biggest one everyone needs to know about, the helmet lights on Nuclear Winter paints should finally work. So all you people out there leveling up so hard in Nuclear Winter trying to get those special power armor paints, the pink sprinkles, the what's the name of the
Hellfire?
Thank you, Hellfire. The actual headlamps on those were not working properly. They were shining out of your feet, if at all. That supposedly got fixed today. And then finally, item shop update, excitement. Yeah, they've got Meat Week themed items. That's pretty much it. You can get half of them in the event. Liberty Prime is around for another week, and nothing else new, really.
Speaking of headlamps, do you think there's any way I'll ever get my headlamp working on my combat armor helmet, my combat helmet? That thing has a flashlight attached to the side of it.
It does.
The miner's hat, that lights up just fine.
Turn on your Pip-Boy and pretend, Andrew. I think that's the best you can get.
But it's something that I really love to get early on in the game, before you get the power armor helmet, because I really don't like the green Pip-Boy light in the game. So I would always aim to go get a miner's hat before you get the power armor helmet with the power armor light. You know, so the miner's hat, you get a nice white light instead of the green one. And so I would just love to be able to get this combat helmet with, you know, if you get a light with it, gosh, that'd be super snazzy. Because it is a good looking helmet. I really like it. It's my bobsled helmet.
Kind of looks like a Tron helmet a little bit.
It does. I don't know if I was on with you or someone, but I mentioned it the other day when I was on with someone who was like, I was at a weird angle or something like that, and all the outlines of it were highlighted. It's like, oh, fuck, this looks like a Tron helmet or something. It's really cool. That's really awesome that you said that.
Yeah, I don't think it was me, but I definitely have thought the same thing before.
Yeah, I like that.
Freighter's been living in his miner helmet on his new character, on his roundtable character.
Yeah, I like the model. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I've liked it ever since Stevens put the mining helmets on your settler. Oh gosh, it's been so long since Fallout 4. What do you call the guys who go back and forth and carry your loot?
Purveyor? No. What are they
Sure,
called? Chally.
It starts with P. Provisioner. Is it Provisioner?
Provisioner. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Purveyor's the schmurgle burgle.
Ever since Steven said put mining helmets on them, I've been a big fan of mining helmets because that is fun, watching them cut through the fog.
Oh, that would be nice.
So that about covers Iguana Bits and QuakeCon. Do we want to get into Josh's email, or do you want to talk about Gen Con?
No Gen Con, because I really don't know. I just kind of was asking Craig if he, because Craig is big into Gen Con. It is a gaming convention in Indianapolis. Not so much video gaming, but like tabletop board gaming, role playing game, anything like that, card games, Magic, that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
he's
huge
going
fucking
this weekend, right?
Yeah, he actually like works it and does stuff. You know, like I don't think he just goes as someone to check stuff out. I think he actually is responsible for stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
I think he's DMing and running games.
He's really into gaming, and I know I kind of want to try to game with him sometime. I think that would be pretty fun. But yeah, so it's a huge gaming convention, like displays and like tournaments and everything. People get together and play, and it's a really big event. It started in Indianapolis, I don't know, a long time ago. Now it has become one of the bigger events in Indianapolis, and I think it's even big enough where people like outside of the Midwest now know about it and come to it. So,
oh yeah, I mean they advertised it in Dragon magazine forever back when that was a thing, and so it's a big convention.
Yeah, so that's a big event this weekend, and I want to go to, but I want to take Mo with me, but like he's still not quite old enough to be trusted to wear his mask in public and that sort of thing. And with the cystic fibrosis, I don't want to take him to like the germ festival that is a
any con, yeah. They all
just like
have
sweaty
con crud.
people, con crud all over you, and everyone comes home sick after a con if you're there more than one day. If you're more there like than 20 minutes, you're coming away sick. Yeah, so we have to watch out for that. Hey, but that's great. The Gen Con's coming on, and Craig, next week we'll hear a little update from Craig just to see how it went, and he'll give us sort of like a background on Gen Con and all that stuff. And so looking forward to hearing from Craig.
And let us know if anyone plays the Fallout board game there. If you
he said he's walking out of there with some sort of Fallout gaming book. What would that be for? Is there like a Fallout D&D or something?
I mean, maybe there's a Roll20 version of the rules, but I've seen the board game. I've never seen an RPG.
I saw the board game at this little board game store just up out of nowhere, just opened up in downtown Noblesville, and it's already out of business, of course. But I went in there once. I got my set of my 20-sided die and all that.
Yeah, we went there when I was there.
Yeah, Ray. That's like holy fuck, what is this place? Let's go in here. But it's like a weird little gaming store, but it was fun. It was a totally cute little place, and there's no way it can survive, of course, in this Amazon climate. But it was totally great. Gaming is really fun. I just have discovered it as an adult, really, playing Skyrim 10 AD. So it's really fun. Except for I had a board game that had very mild D&D aspects to it. Called Hero Quest. I know that I've mentioned it before. Mo and I have started playing that a little bit here and again. But my brother's coming next week. Can't wait to pull out the Hero Quest and do some role playing with my son and my brother. We're gonna maximum nerdage. It's gonna be great.
Oh, that'll be awesome. You should get your brother on the show if you can.
He oh my god. He's just like, I don't really know anything about Fallout, but it might be fun to be on a podcast, he's sort of hinting around, so I think we're going to try to do our best to get him on here. But if I remember right, Ray, we had all sorts of weird problems that we couldn't figure out. So I think we'll just have to have him on mobile, and it won't be like him sitting here beside me. Like we never figured out how to get that to work, did we, Ray?
Well,
Like
we couldn't split the headphone.
Yeah, that was our issue.
You had two mics, but we couldn't split the headphone.
Bad splitter or something. Yeah. Anyway, if I figure that out, maybe he'll be sitting here beside me. Otherwise, we'll get him on here. But after like seriously, 10 minutes after he asked about being on the podcast, he was like, "So, tell me about this Fallout game."
Nice. Get him
And I was
in.
like-
Do it.
I was like, "What game system do you have?" And he's like, "Well." He's married, but he lives in California, and property is like $10 billion per square foot. So he, of course, even as a married man, they have to have housemates and stuff in California just because it's outrageous rates. But he said like his housemate has a PlayStation 4. I was like, oh crap, that stinks because I have Xbox, so I thought, oh, that'd be fun to like try to play together or something. But so it's like, well, my housemate has a PlayStation 4 and he's got New Vegas and Fallout 3. Should I play one of those? And I was like, ooh, I don't know. Then I gave him my like snotty spiel about how Fallout 4 is an amazing game. It was my first Fallout, and then it's really difficult to go back. So maybe, yes, you should start with the early games and play those first before going to Fallout 4 because it's harder to play Fallout 4. And then Fallout 76, I was just like, I didn't even consider that because I was like, oh, I don't know if his roommate has PlayStation Plus or whatever the service is for their online stuff. So I wasn't even going to suggest Fallout 76, but I was like, yeah, he's definitely showing an interest, so I don't know. He might start playing either Fallout 3 or New Vegas on his roommate's PlayStation before coming to visit for the next week. And then I'm saying as soon as he gets here, I'm going to force him to start a character in Fallout 76 and see how far he can get into that. So if any of you people on Xbox next week want to help my brother power level and learn a bunch of stuff about the game, throw a bunch of info at him. He really likes video games. He's really a Zelda guy. I remember Zelda being one of the first games we bonded over a bunch. So he's open to gaming, and he just has never played Fallout before. I think maybe he's played a little Skyrim. Maybe.
Cool beans. Yeah, just get him on the train. Get him in the crew.
We'll try to toss him on. And I told him. And I bet you these people will want you on just so they can dig up some like nasty dirt on me or something. Find out.
No, that's not it at all.
It's like I know these people. They're just gonna want to dig up, have blackmail material for me.
So is he the younger brother or the older brother?
He's an older brother out there, and busted out of Indiana very soon. It was not for him. He did the East Coast Philadelphia region for a while, and then he's been in California, I don't know, almost 20 years now, probably. Sacramento area. Anybody out there want to hang out with my brother? Look him up. All right, Jess, anything else on the notes we need to get to before checking in with Radioactive Rebecca?
I say if you have Josh's email up, I don't have a copy of it here, but if you have it on the account.
I do. Let's pull this up here. Josh writes in, hello all. I didn't have time to record feedback this week for Corey. He is currently level 28 with a 9 in strength, which I'm working towards getting to a 15. He has a mutation of twisted muscles, which gives him a 25% more melee damage and a better chance to cripple limbs, but he has reduced gun accuracy of 50%. I am using a combination of Guitar Sword, my assigned melee weapon, and it works really well on lower level ghouls and Scorched, and the Black Diamond Sword, but when that breaks, I use the Death Tambo. Oh, I like those. I have been enjoying the melee route, and I have come to enjoy hearing the guitar strings making noises when it hit things. That is one of the cool things about that.
Yep.
Let's see. I tagged along with Andrew and Pat for distinguished guests. Yes, he did. That was a fun event. Then, like Will said, I can't believe they just ate off the wooden nose. We just picked the plates up off the floor. That was a good moment there, Will. That one was a struggle for me, and I think I only found one of the centerpieces and killed 4 or 5 super mutants that found their way into the dining hall. You guys just knew what you were doing, as I was a chicken with my head cut off. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just running around all crazy out there, Josh. I was finding those little like tents, those little like had these weird little structure tents that you don't really see anywhere else in the game. I was just like, those are strange. So I just headed towards those every time, and I kept finding the centerpieces there. Or the lots of silverware and stuff there too. All right, continues on. Over my last 2 play sessions, and I guess Corey is a goody two shoes because I was unable to pass the test for the executive position at the Hornwright Industrial. Hey, don't worry about that, Josh. It took me a good couple of tries. I don't know if I think I actually had to look up where the cheat was and go find the cheat thing, and it said like it gave you the answer key or something if you found the code.
That gives you a quest marker for it.
Yeah, it does. Not quite scummy enough, so I looked up the answers and was able to finish the quest that way. Oh, dude, I don't care. That's fine. It's just like, Dima's Blue Nightmare. If you looked up the cheat on level 5 of that, have at it, because level 5 of that fucking blows. I picked up the Overseer's Journals at Morgantown High and Vault-Tec U without anything special happening. I could not get patrol duty to pop, so I did not complete that quest. God, did anybody get a fucking prison?
Hey, second try.
Yeah. My camp is currently in the Cranberry Bog, sitting on a junk pile. My assigned resource is iron, and there's a resource nearby, but I can't reach both. So I'm sticking to the junk resource now because I find it more useful. And I've been getting a lot of level 30 crickets coming into my camp. Oh, God, that sucks. I'm sorry. Level 30 crickets coming into my camp when I fast travel back. So I've been making lots of crispy cave cricket, which gives a nice plus 10 energy resistance, along with 25 HP and a 20% food boost. I mainly have played by myself in 76, but a few times I've teamed up with others in the group. I've had a good time. I look forward to seeing you all in the wasteland. Thanks. Josh from Idaho, a.k.a. Brett on Facebook. P.S. Should I read this out loud? Let me see. Let's see. Andrew, I did not find a good junk pile when I went camping last weekend in real life, but we did find a cherry tree for my daughter to climb. Oh, that's nice, Josh.
Nice. And Josh has been playing mostly in survival mode on his playthrough, right?
Yeah, God, I don't know. He must not be doing that because I've actually seen him a lot the last few days. I think he's playing a lot more in public or revealing himself because he's been teaming up with people more. So I think that's fun to team up with him. So I'm glad he's hopped into playing with us losers over here in adventure mode.
Excellent. Well, yeah. Before we get into Radioactive Rebecca, I also want to talk about next week on the show because we have a whole new set of quests coming up.
Oh, goodness.
But it's going to be deja vu. Get out your jumpsuits, everybody, because we're going back to that prison. So next week, no. I did not mean to set it up this way, but I did. But I didn't know how much you were going to hate the prison. So next week's quests, Bureau of Tourism. So that's the one for the mayor, our buddy in the Grafton. Falsely accused. So that's one some of you may have already had start. As you wander around Toxic Valley, you're likely to have that start on you. And then the 2 events, and hopefully you have, because otherwise that might be one that's hard to get to pop, because it is kind of random if you run into the character. And then for events, we have Pass the Buck. That's helping out the mayor again. And Jailbreak, which I think some of you did while trying to get patrol duty.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Which means patrol duty will pop 5 or 6 times and I won't be able to get Jailbreak to go.
Of course.
So yeah, so two quests, 2 events next time. Hanging out at the prison again. Gonna clean up all of the Toxic Valley, and of course, spend a lot of time checking out Graham's meat cook. I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be meat week. I have a feeling this is going to be a Fashnacht type thing. I was going to ask you guys what I ended up doing with Fashnacht, and because I believe it was the same cycle where it would go every hour. Now, instead of waiting on a server just every hour, I would just fast travel, or not fast travel. Sorry, I would hop servers and hop server and hop server and hop server until I found one that was active, and then I would hop on to the phone there, grab up the Xbox app, punch it into the text, and every single fucking person online in my app, I was like, Fosh knocked on me, Fosh knocked on me, Fosh knocked on me. And then like fucking 9 people would descend and we'd all run the Fosh knock together. Is that going to be the same exact sort of theory that I need to use? Like, am I going to be able to fast travel and get it to spark like that?
And server hopping shouldn't make a difference. I think it's going to be a little bit more regular and scheduled. At least that's what I've heard so far. But when you have primal cuts every 15 minutes, and already on Xbox tonight when it was going crazy in the chat, people were like, I got a primal cuts in here, I got a primal cuts here. So, you could team up, a free fast travel to the event and get her done. So I think there won't be as much server hopping.
All right. Okay. That makes sense. So that you do the, God, I just forgot what it's called. The 4 mini ones, you do those in between the every hour.
Exactly.
Okay, so that makes sense. That's how you do that. And then, guys, use my loop. Use my event/workshop loop to just build XP on your double XP this weekend. I found it pretty effective, and that was only single XP.
Yeah,
so.
that's always been my favorite way. Workshops and events. But obviously, you got the West Tech and the Burrows and the White Springs if you want to go that way.
And
so one thing to keep in mind when you're collecting the meat is that when you do the Graham's Meat Cook event, you're going to be putting them in lots of 5.
Oh yeah.
So if you have 11 or 12 pieces, you're only going to be able to put 10 in, which means you'll get 10 script.
So is it 1 script per meat?
Yep.
And so it doesn't matter if it's sheep squatch meat or just a lowly rad rat meat?
No, just the prime meat.
Right. Okay. I didn't know if it made a difference which area you got it in, but I guess not.
Oh yeah, no. They're all prime meats is valued the same. I think it looks like depending on what area you do the event in, will contribute to how many pieces of prime meat you end up with.
Okay. Yeah, because I've heard people say they get 3, 4, or 5. Maybe that corresponds to the area where you do the event.
Yeah. But I've also heard that it depends on how much of the killing you've done. Because I did it several times up in the Toxic Valley, because that seemed like it was where it kept popping for me. And so I did get varying levels, depending on whether I was in a big giant group and not getting a lot of hits in, or if I was in by myself and doing it all.
And I'm sure we'll be getting a lot of live feedback over the next 8 days while it's running, in the Facebook group too, of everybody's experiences. So we'll probably have an optimum strategy by the end.
Yeah, and it's also good, if so you don't have to cook it; you can eat it right from your inventory, and it's a 30% food.
Even raw?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because just like a nice prime steak, it's meant to be eaten raw.
Nice. Behemoth porterhouse.
It's meat week, everybody. Go out and have fun.
And shoot, that made me think of something else that had come up in the notes, but then we talked about something and it was gone.
Was it meat?
Fast travel.
For events.
So at some point in time, they didn't really specify, but sometime they were talking about a lot of September things at the time they talked about this. The UI for events is going to change. So one thing is that now events will be a free fast travel until they find out that people just fast travel to events and then don't join them.
Yeah.
Oh, I want that so bad.
Yeah. And so, but the other thing is that you'll be able to see details of the event. So, how much time is left on the clock, and
Need that for passive enlightenment, especially.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
fixed,
yeah.
uh, fixed rewards and things like that will be shown on the map UI.
Fixed rewards will be shown. Wow. That's kind of a big deal, and the countdown is especially a big deal to me. I like both of those.
Yeah, definitely.
So I got a couple notes in chat related to what we're talking about too. Josh S is saying he had 7 prime meat once, so he put in 5 and couldn't do anything with the other 2. But he got 3 more for another primal meat. You cannot give prime meat to others. He said he tried to trade it and could not do so.
Yeah, he tried to give it to me, and I was like, "What are you doing? I'm waiting." He's just like trying to trade with me and trade with me. I was like, "What's happening?" And then he just backed out and gave me a thumbs down. I was like, "Oh, what happened?" And then he wrote me on the app, and he was like, "Oh, you can't trade the prime meat." But that was my first time there, so I didn't understand what he's talking about. Like, I didn't know you collected prime meat and cash them in 5 at a time. It's like I know it's like I was like, prime, like ultrasite meat or something, like the dummy I am. And yeah, so I didn't know what was happening. So a cloud has been lifted on this whole prime mystery, and let's have fun with Meat Week.
Yeah, and when you get to 15, you get the meat sweats, and you can't put any more in.
Oh, the meat sweat.
Are you serious? That's really funny. That's real. That's funny.
Does it give you any kind of negative effect too? Like worse at combat, over encumbered?
No, I think it just won't let you put any more in.
Well, I've been to a Brazilian barbecue. So it's kind of a thing, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You smell like meat the next 3 days. It's sweating out of you.
Also, a comment from Freighter, Ari, your brother, showing up. He says he'd love to hear a non-Fallout nerd's point of view on the show. So I think he thinks we're nerds, guys.
Well, he did ask me, "Hey, what's the name of your podcast?" I was like, "You don't need to know."
I think maybe by the time he shows up, he'll be a Fallout nerd. So sorry.
Maybe. He could have jumped in, but at least I'll have a beginner's perspective, and I'm gonna make him jump into a character in 76 at least. When he found out I was doing the Skyrim podcast back in the day, he was always really interested in that, and he played a lot of Skyrim when he came to visit a few times and during that era. So I can fully see him getting interested in Fallout. Although we were raised in a Quaker household, and a pacifist by nature, like no weapons in the house, that sort of thing, and he doesn't enjoy Tarantino movies because of the ultra violence. I kind of see the humor and the overuse of the ultra violence, the absurdity of it all. But he does not get really any amusement out of that sort of thing. He's so I don't know if the violence. See, I kind of like the Fallout because in the same light that Tarantino does, it's sort of like overly done so that it's almost comedic.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that would rub him the wrong way or not. So I bet you he'll like Fallout, at least the role-playing aspect, because he seemed to really like that aspect of Skyrim.
Yeah, and they didn't really jack up the bloody mess and that kind of stuff as much until 4. So maybe starting with 3 or New Vegas could be a little better there.
Yeah. Well, it's his journey, and hopefully we can start him in the right direction at least. So I guess we'll go pop into Radioactive Rebecca here. I believe she's checking in from not the Capital Wasteland. What's it called? What's the Boston one? The
Commonwealth.
The Commonwealth Wasteland. Up here, she's going to Sunshine Tidings and the Poseidon Reservoir.
This is Rebecca. I've walked further south again and found a settlement called Sunshine Tidings Co-op. As far as I can tell, there's no one here. There's a terminal in a barn which says Sunshine Tidings Co-op, standard Mr. Handy control interface, log. Alan, we finally sprung a slave from the squares for our Freedom Farm Co-op, a Mr. Handy from the Nardaville suburbs. The tin can wigged out trying to go back to his slave owners, almost clued the fuzz onto us. So Johnny noodled it out and zonked his motivation protocols to just be. Now we call him Professor Goodfeels, just digging the world as it be, owing nothing to nobody. Careful with his other protocols, these cans knuckle creeps if they go ape. Signed, Jack. Then there are some Mr. Handy controls, and it looks like someone set him to return for maintenance at Hester's Consumer Robotics. I wonder if he made it there safely. I've come further south again and found some of the locations that people have already been to. Fort Hagen Satellite Array, which is where Lee was, Fiddler's Green, which is where Andrew was, and the Greater Mass Blood Clinic, which Lee also came to. I've found the Poseidon Reservoir. This is a huge building, but it's very quiet inside, so I think I'm safe. There are some dead ghouls in here. I found a terminal. It says, "Bring your kids to work day." Message sent October the 22nd, 2077. Attention, entire staff. Reminder that tomorrow is Bring Your Kid to Work Day. Although it's against protocol to bring children into the plant, we've decided this year we will allow 2 children in at a time for a quick tour. If you'd like to participate, there is a sign-up sheet near the front door. We will have chaperones outside to help with those that want the tour but have more than 2 kids. As always, be safe. Signed, Management. Reservoir status, error number 267. Date, October the 23rd, 2077. Malfunction at reservoir pumping station. Automated emergency shutoff initiated. Automated emergency shutoff completed. Contact operating manager immediately. Well, at least those people got to spend their last day with their kids.
If you would like to participate in the Fallout Terminal Velocity Project, please contact Radioactive Rebecca at Fallout Terminal Velocity at Outlook.com. As we sign off here before Meat Week, Sergio, I just had a question for you. Are you familiar with a meat called carpincho? Some guy on a podcast I listened to did his Mormon mission. It's not called a mission in Mormonism, is it? I don't remember, but he did it as a broad thing in South America somewhere. I forget exactly where, but he had carpincho, and I don't remember if it was like capybara or like roasted armadillo, but I think it was one of the two of those. So I was just going to ask Sergio if you're familiar with that sort of thing. And Jess, I wanted to save the best for last.
Ooh, what are we talking about?
I just wanted to thank you so much for letting Jerry and I sit aside and play canasta all night while you built me a fancy new digs. It's the most amazing little camp, and I'm really enjoying the new place. So thank you, Jess, everybody. I just kind of set aside and replenished her resources whenever she needed something. But Jerry and I just kind of hung out, and Jess really put me a nice camp together. It's near a little mountaintop with a campsite ring of tents and a little campfire in the middle and benches all around it. And we built a nice wall structure extending out from the campsite, so it's like a nice big barrier wall. It's a very nice little place. Thank you. So I just want to say thank you so much. It's really fun to just watch a master at her craft.
You're welcome. Thanks for the compliment. It was a great way to relax Friday night. I needed it, and you really wanted a junk pile and a new camp location. I'm glad we found the perfect spot.
Well, I just have to have a junk pile because have you seen the fucking ingredient list to make the 40 millimeter grenade ammo? Fuck me. Laundry list of materials there, man. Just crazy. All right. Anybody have anything else they'd like to mention tonight?
So update on Carpincho. It is capybara.
Capybara.
Oh, don't eat capybara.
Right? Those are the fucking cute giant hamsters at the zoo.
They're
Giant guinea pigs.
the world's
Yeah,
rodent.
they're adorable. Don't eat the capybara. Hey, who are we to tell people what to do in their own native country, right? Come on.
It's true. Scrabble.
Yeah, we eat Scrabble. We eat fucking hot dogs. Oh, it's gross. So you can find him, and this is really funny. Dwight, you can find him at Ammo Ninja on Twitter. Dwight, I am a chemist by profession. I was like, ammonia, yeah, ammonia, ammonia. That is one of the tests I do. I test for ammonia and wastewaters is one of the things I spend hours and hours doing every day. And it's just like, I don't get it, Dwight. Ammonia. In New Jersey? Yeah. Oh, wait. No, it's something ammonia, New Jersey. Gosh, does he test water too? Does he? Ammonia something, New Jersey A. Gosh, what is that? And oh God, it's Ammo Ninja. I'm a fucking...
So a lot of people have said that to me running around with that over my head while I'm playing 76, and I thought it was more clear, but apparently it's not.
Isn't it hilarious how other people see your name and just how things can be misinterpreted? It's so funny. Yep. But seriously, it took me a few seconds. I was just like, I cannot figure this out. What the hell? How was this said? And then my brain was like, oh, you're a dummy. It's Ammo Ninja. You can find him at Ammo Ninja on Twitter. Dwight, thank you so much for hopping on the show tonight. Did a wonderful job. We'd love to have you back sometime.
Thank you. I had a great time.
You can find him at Selfie on Twitter. Pat, it's a great pleasure to have you on the podcast as always. You can find the mistress of craft work and building at Sleep is for Tea on Twitter. Jess, thank you for hopping on the show.
Thank you. Should I post my camp in the Facebook group? The one I posted on Twitter?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. So she's going to post her new camp. She just finished its crazy tower. It's like Harry Potter style towers that I swear they move. They shift around. She is at Sleep is for Tea on Twitter, and he is at Ray LB on Twitter. Ray, thanks for hopping on.
Always a pleasure.
I would like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout Feed, and we will see you in the Wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the Wasteland.